All right,
No,
take
I
this.
understand. I understand it completely. There's lots of things that we've had to adjust conversations on air. All right, Tech. So what were you
End
saying
of
about the article you
humanity
read?
check. All right, yeah, take
Yeah.
two. All right, so
I was done.
premises. Um, in the future, you will be paying for your home robot like you do your car loan. And so it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. How else were you going to afford this like massive amount of technology? You would take a car loan out. And so I'm just like, will we have like lesser versions? Like, will there be a Tesla of robots? Well, obviously there are. We already know that. Will there be like a Toyota Camry of robots? And like, what are the features? But like to AJ's point, before stream started, like, what are the real use cases for this? Like, are we willing to really give away those tiny moments of human like we already do less and less than what our like the previous generation did in the generation prior, right? Like you used to have to wake up, make bread, go out into the farm, milk the cows, or go find a cow to get milk. Like you used to have to do all these things, these human things that in a lot of ways, I don't know, made us more human in my perception. And so what does it look like when you have this this robot, right, in your house doing all these activities? What does it look like as a parent? Like your kid, seeing that this robot does all these chores, like, oh, I don't have to do anything anymore because
Robot man being in your house raising your kids and
exactly. Like I saw an article in regards to like this one kid.
myself. Like, wow.
Yeah, but like to the same point, I saw this article. This one kid was just like he kept throwing things in front of the Roomba. Like whenever he was eating a snack, he would just throw it in front of the Roomba because the Roomba was vacuuming. It was cleaning. It was there to do that. And as a kid, you're point A, point B. Like you don't really think of C like
I
ever.
see what's
You're like
happening.
you're point A, point yeah, not point A, but point A, point C. Like you don't think of B because like why? And so yeah, like I'm not sure. Like we have all these tech companies like running towards, AI, running towards robotics, and it's cool. As a technologist, I love it. I think it's super fucking cool. But like, you have no fucking idea, and they're not thinking about, oh, little Johnny is going to, kick the robot down the stairs because he got irritated that it didn't clean its room fast enough.
We don't approve of kicking robots down the stairs. We
We
are
don't
Nope.
approve robot
we
kicking down the
Sure
stairs.
don't.
No, we are
advocates for
no.
all.
Let's not hear.
That's
Not
a
not
big
in
no
this.
no.
That's a big no no.
No, no, we don't do that because I want them to have this on record when they start, running stuff.
Exactly.
That we do not kick robots down the stairs. We have always been robot allies.
Nope. Always been robot allies. Absolutely. There's nothing, no doubt about it. Like Blerdimension is a robot ally. We
All
stand with the
robots
robots.
matter.
Some would say
All
we're
robots matter.
ourselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you start
I would
taking out
say
the
that.
humans, don't look here.
No,
Don't look here. Don't look here. Because you need
practically
that good
robots.
blurred content. Yeah. Like me and Wally go back. Like me and Wall. What is his name? Wally.
I thought he said Wally.
I thought you were gonna say Waleed. I was like, that's a
What?
person.
That's a person. Listen,
It's Wally.
As
I'm all for it. I don't even check my mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like I even say thank you to my keyboard. But
Yeah.
nevertheless.
I bow
So
to
I
my
just
keyboard before I leave the room. Like,
Gotta be grateful.
yeah,
thank
like
you. Yeah.
thank you for your service. And then
Thank you for your service. Yeah.
but no, I think that I think to I guess even go even further to that point you were making about like the human things is like I think that can explain a lot of like people's restlessness and anxiety in some ways. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
because I don't know if you've ever seen like an animal that was made to run, not running, like how they act if they haven't been able to run, like they go crazy. Like there are a lot of dogs, like dog breeds that you can't have them in small apartments unless you're gonna make the effort to take this dog to the park 2 or 3 times a day because this dog needs to run off its energy, or else you're gonna have this wild animal in your house. And you're like, why is this dog crazy? Well, this dog was made for running. Like that's what this dog is doing. That's what it's born
Made for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you come out here and now you've taken its prime function, which is running, and now it's going to be anxious. It's going to be, it doesn't even know why, right? It's just knows that there's all this pent up energy and it has nowhere to go because that energy is it's supposed to be chasing things in the field and jumping and leaping and all this stuff. Like imagine having a greyhound just in a house and that's it. It doesn't ever go outside. Like those things are so fast and so made for running, right? Their bodies are completely designed for it. It's like the dog cheetah, right? It's the cheetah,
Yeah.
the cheetah of dogs.
That would be miserable for everybody in that house.
Everybody.
Right. So it's like I think that you get to the point where it's like I like automation. Obviously, I love having a dishwasher. I don't want to go back to not having a dishwasher. I think
Never.
dishes upset me more than most activities. Like, I'll wash a full clothes all day.
Absolutely.
You ask me to wash 5 dishes and we got a problem. Like I do,
No,
but
I
Oh,
got
folding clothes either.
I'm upset the whole time I'm washing dishes.
the
Like I
whole
just don't like
time.
that my hands are wet. Sometimes somehow
No
my
audiobook
it's wet.
will make me feel better about it. It's just a waste of my time. It's a
Right.
waste of my existence.
I think cleaning in general.
So I'm not trying to go back on that particularly, but I do think like you can automate yourself to death. I do think you can.
Absolutely.
I do think that,
I
like
think there's an argument for over automation, right?
right, like the AI, right? So there are people who are like, oh, write a book in a day with AI. It's like I think there's
why would you want to?
I think there's a but I think the author writing the book, there's something in that process. It's the grueling part of that process is actually important. It's like if you can push
agreed.
a button and get muscles and get the physique you wanted, right? Like
You still wouldn't be able to use that body correctly.
yeah, yeah, right. First of all, you wouldn't be used to it. You'd have to still train it, right? Because your the neural activity is not going to connect to the muscular tissue. It's gonna be like you're gonna reach for a cup and punch somebody because it's like your body just sends a signal that the muscles are ready for it. Like it's gonna be like, imagine being extremely fast, being slow one day and extremely fast the next day. Well, your brain's just gonna say, "Hey, go grab that cup," but your hand is gonna like be so far ahead of it, and so you wouldn't be ready for it. But also, I think there's a humanness in sculpting yourself, right, and building the discipline and doing all that. So I think there's something in that, and I think that's why exercise is so important to humans in the first place, right? Like that's one of the main things they'll tell you to do when they're like, "Are you feeling a little depressed?" All right, well,
and exercise.
are you being physically active? That's one of the things I ask you. So, I do think that we can, like I said, we can automate ourselves to death in so many ways. Like I love the idea of a Jarvis. I love the idea of like an R2D2 following me around the house. And I was actually thinking about doing a project with one of the AIs where I can like, all right, I want to get my math skills up, right? Because it was something I avoided on purpose in high school. Like, I don't want to find out if I was dumb or not. So I was just like, yeah, we'll do it, right? So you avoid math in all the ways that you can, and in the ways that you can't, you don't really learn it. You learn how to solve particular types of problems so you can get a good grade, but you don't actually build a foundation. So I'm like, okay, I kind of was thinking like I should probably go back and give that a try. It's like let's give it an honest try of like trying to build a solid foundation, not just trying to solve problems, right? And I was like, it'd be cool if I had an AI that I could ask math questions, so I don't have to constantly be online and stuff. And maybe that says something about me not trying to be social, because that's also a component of being alive. But I like the idea of having an assistant, but it needs to be an assistant. The moment it takes over, it's no longer assisting, it's living, and you're like the supplementary thing. Like if it runs your household, you're now the supplement. It's like, oh, you live in the house, but you don't run the house. Now it's this machine runs your house. This machine organizes folds your clothes, washes. Like after a while, it's like you're the supplement. You're the accent piece to your home.
Oh no. I would like to argue that maybe being a person is a little bit more than like chores and shit. Like so, like.
Agree.
But I hear what you're saying.
Absolutely. There's way more to life than working, right? Like
and chores,
part of working. That's a part of life. I think we, in this society, probably have the balance way off in the working area, right? We work more than we probably should, and live less than we should, right? I do agree with that, but I don't think chores is having a robot basically control your home is going to change that balance, right? Because the real balance is in people being okay with saying, hey, like we're just going to, we need a universal kind of like universal and basic income for people, because we've gotten to the point where our society is better, but people want to still hold on to those older ideals, and because they're not going to let those go. I don't think automating the home is going to make it better. I think that's going to make, like Tech was saying, it's going to change the behavior of children, right? To where the fact,
absolutely.
like they're absolutely, my nephew is like, shoot, I don't think he's not even a year. He's not a year old. He's like 9 months. And the way he manipulates a tablet at 9 months is scary to me. Like that he knows he can. He was playing. He was like, I'm sure he doesn't know what he was doing, right? Because if he does, he's freaking me out even more. But he was moving. He was playing my wife's game on her phone. Like he was moving around. And then my mother has a Nest thermostat, and he has one, or his parents have one at their house.
Right.
And he knows if I spin my finger around, I'm gonna turn. Something's gonna happen. So he was like, I kept seeing him crawl to the wall, and he kept like hitting on the wall, like he's trying to. I'm like, he's trying to get to that thermostat. Why is he trying to get to the thermostat? And his dad picks him up, and he just winds it back. Oh, this dude's 9 months. Like it's changing his brain right now. You know, to like in a way that I don't know if that's good for him to be. That,
no idea.
To be that technologically savvy as a child.
We're gonna find out.
I'll tech my grandma.
Find out.
I don't like that. So
I mean, not even to mention, like, you know, I guess we'll end robot chat here in a second, but like, to one more point, I guess, from robot chat before moving into the other technological breakthroughs that have happened in the last few months. God damn it, man! It just feels like it's just nonstop. But I guess like a lot of people, to the point of like people wanted the smartphone because they saw it in, you know, in Star Trek, and this is one of the weird conversations my wife and I have had. Do people want robots? This is going to sound super fucked up. I'm aware of how it sounds.
Oh no!
But do people want robots because they really just want a
sex doll?
Servant?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh,
servant.
Wait,
I was
why they said sex doll, but
they want people want something that will make their lives less stressful, more convenient. So if a robot can come into your life, like iRobot, like if you think of iRobot from with Will Smith, how all robots were in people's homes cleaning stuff up. You know, even for older people, they were cleaning stuff up. They can easily bring in groceries, stuff like that. It takes,
What job market is on? What would you want?
And I don't,
especially for.
I think that's a job that needs to remain human. Sorry, I didn't jump, but I don't think caretaker should ever be a non-human job.
I agree.
But you gotta.
Let me swap this over.
Creep me out because, like, I don't know if you guys been to like I've been unfortunately to the hospital a lot in the past few months, but
like, I have.
Imagine like no nurses typing in on
I don't like it.
on an ad all the things that are wrong with you, and that seem to win, but like I still want to see athletes. I want to see humans jumping. I want to see humans running, humans catching. Like I don't want to see you know, these they can do everything better than us. That's intentional. We're making them better than us, right? Like we're using ourselves as a blueprint to say this is, you know, how you would be able to do that. But I don't know. That's scary to me. I want. I don't know. It's like we don't have we need like a wisdom council. Like there's the tech people, then we need like a council of people who just like really sit and think about the things, and they need to have the final say, regardless of whether like they take a cool toy from us. Like they were like, "Hey guys, we're gonna shut this AI down for another like 50 years because the society hasn't caught up to the technology. Let's
What are you
shut
trying to be? The Catholic Church with medicine science breakthrough and everything?
Listen, I'm not telling you to put it. I don't know where the people need to come from. I
Do you
don't.
know how far we would be advanced if it wasn't for that period in time already, like medical wise?
But see, I would say this. You say advanced because you're thinking of positive potential. You're not thinking of the negative end of that spectrum. Like it's that number line is positive infinity and negative infinity. So it's like, we could be more advanced, or we could have created a super virus before we were prepared to stop it. Like before we knew enough about immunization to stop it.
That's
Like
fair.
we strengthened E. coli before we were ready to battle E. coli with penicillin or whatever. Like so, it's like because I mean in 10th grade, right? We made penicillin resistant E. coli in class, right?
Yeah.
So if we could do that in class in 10th grade, we didn't even know what we were doing. We were just cutting things and pouring stuff in there, and the next thing you know, this E. coli now can kill me better than the E. coli we first got.
Like I said, there was experiments for killing cancer cells with sound waves.
What?
Right, but you know what sound waves can also do, right? Turn your entire body. Kush does.
That's
It's a soup.
Right. If it's not when they were doing cancer waves, they were pinpointed.
Yeah,
like they were like specific towards.
What I'm saying is, I love nuclear energy. I hate nuclear bombs, and you can't guarantee that we would have said, "Oh yeah," that these people hadn't, held off. Then we wouldn't have. I'm not saying they should have done what they did, but I am saying that we can't guarantee that there would have been good things coming from that. We just know that there. But I feel like there needs to be wisdom, right? There needs to be people paying attention to that, right?
Yeah. But the problem is, a lot of people don't. They just look at we can use, like, I was watching Big Bang Theory, and they made their own gyroscope that can potentially never have to,
the infinite gyroscope thing.
Yeah, the infinite gyroscope, the where it can always stay locked on, or it can always stay up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Oh, the potential for this is great for ships and for lots of things." Then they were like, "Oh, the military don't want this." I was like,
absolutely do.
"Okay,
absolutely."
That's great for drones and missiles.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Air Force came knocking.
Flares would be obsolete.
And you know what else? Did y'all see the UAP in
unmanned what?
It was in the Middle East, right?
And
it was like invisible. But they caught it on
a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh, man! I first of all, I know that some country tested cloaking technology.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that to me is straight frightening.
Terrifying.
The shit that was going on with Ukraine and Russia, like Ukraine using fucking drones with machine guns on it, and they're using Steam decks to control them.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was like, nah. I was like, that shit we ain't even thought of yet.
And that's what I'm talking about in terms of tech. When I'm saying you have no idea where the technology would go. You know that they wanted experimentation, but you don't know what that experimentation would have led to. You don't know what somebody would have found if they didn't. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's the Wisdom Council. I don't care where you get the peoples from, right? I don't know how to even judge wisdom, right? Like that's a hard thing to say someone even has.
Judge.
Right. But it can't just be smart people are also considered wise people, because we know that's not true. Right. You can be intellectually superior and be inferior in terms of judgment.
It will go everywhere it can go.
Right. There are children who are smarter than we'll ever be.
You're right, Carl.
I still wouldn't let them run the country.
Facts. That would be a mistake.
Yeah. Wasn't there
good point.
What's that show? Twilight Zone episode where a kid was the president. He ran for. Yeah, it was a Twilight Zone episode or Outer Rim episode where a kid it was a presidential candidate spokesman or like person who helps like presidential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
He was down his luck because like the last president like lost or whatever or did something, and so some people point him to this kid, and this kid was like very wholesome, blah blah blah. He went on air, and people were starting to like him, and so because he wanted to be president, and so he ran for president, and he won. But then the kid was like making like childish demands, like all grown ups can't have jobs, don't have jobs. Kids are the only one that he trusts. So like surgeons, technicians, like like we're all kids. Because like at the end of the episode, the dude
organo, it's just
it was crazy. I was like, yeah, it was crazy because like at the end of the episode, the dude got shot from because they thought the Secret Service thought he was going to kill the kid, which he was going to, but he got shot, and so he ended up being put on a hospital bed for operation. And he's like, "Oh, the surgeon's coming! The surgeon's coming!" And the surgeon walks in. This is a kid. He's like, "Oh my god, man! Traffic was killer. All right, then let's get this started." He was like, "No." I was like, "Nah, it was not." No. I gotta find the episode, but that shit was outrageous. I was like, "This is your fault."
This is your fault.
That's funny.
Oh gosh,
that's funny.
Oh, that's BMW. Okay. AJ, they're testing humanoid robot workers in their South Carolina plant.
Yes, they're testing. I think it's what is it? Fusion or it begins with an F.
Let's see. Figure.
Figure.
That's the one.
Figure.
Why are they doing this? Like, what's their?
What hope is to cut back on humanoid expenses. Obviously.
There you go.
Well, I get that, but like, what's their spin on it? How are they making this seem like it's a good?
The robots are intended to automate difficult, unsafe, or tedious manufacturing tasks. There you go.
Okay. I wanted to hear the verbiage because I know why they're doing it. But I wanted to hear how they're spinning it for us.
Oh yeah.
Well, also, the CEO, can make coffee now.
They can make coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Okay, so I get some hot.
You want a robot barista?
Right.
Hell no, I don't want a robot barista. I want to
put something in your cup.
I was single. I went to a Starbucks because I like the barista. Like, barista.
Put a little extra something in your cup.
I don't want no robot. I don't want no robot nowhere near. That's part of that human experience I'm talking about. Like the barista should stay human, right?
Hey, instead of coffee, you put oil in your cup.
Oh my god!
This is what you wanted, right?
It's hot oil.
Oh my god! He's like, "Oh, I thought you were my robot customer. Sorry."
Right?
All the sci-fi
and then who gets in trouble?
World
Who
we
can
had
even
to go
sue
into? Futurama would be the best bet. I'll say Futurama. Like if it had to be any of the sci-fi worlds we viewed, I'll take Futurama for the win, please.
Absolutely.
For the win. I don't think any other ones. I can't think of a single one where I'm just like
Futurama has that murder in Santa, so I don't know.
I mean, the murdering Santa is better than literally Terminator, all of them, right? Like none of those seem like a fun time to be alive. Futurama, at least humans have jobs. You know, they're able to go off planet. I'll be an interspace delivery man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't gotta.
But you would be a terrible one compared to a robot with the infinitely.
That's fair, but they still have humans on the team.
What do you mean?
What part? Who wants you to deliver something in space? You get tired. You need eat. You need food. When they can just
air
to get.
But that's why they have
cabin, right? Like
that's why they have fake everything. Like when you like they generate their food. They don't have like food that they actually make and cook. They generate their food.
Yeah, like Upload, where they just have a printer in it.
That shit was disgusting. Oh my god, upload is not a world I want to be in, dog. I'm sorry.
Upload is closer than Futurama to what we'll live in.
It's too close.
Right there.
It's too close. It's way too close.
Oh no, I'm not caught up, but I don't like the sound of none of that.
Their meat was owned by Intel and Oscar Mayer. Like, yes, and it's not like their cheese. Like their cheese and stuff, anything that is produced from a cow is not from many cows. It's from one cow that they genetically modified to squeeze out what they want.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yo, what?
Yeah, if you haven't watched this last season of Upload, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I started it, but then I kind of stopped it. I didn't
watch the rest of the season. You'd be like, "Oh my god, this is disgusting."
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm good.
Disgusting.
Yeah. One more topic before I call it, because y'all know we got this one has an early bedtime here. The rest of these men will go forward.
The youngest person has the early bedtime. Ain't that or some shit?
Also, the one with children.
So yeah.
And so, obviously, I want to talk. Saw them going back and forth. Apple Vision Pro and the massive push for a lot of these AR VR goggles. What are your guys' takes in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you see us getting rid of the clunky phones and going to not just that, but you have these AI pens? I'm not sure if you've seen Humane, the little rabbit joint.
I want to ask you about the rabbit.
Exactly. So do you see us losing our phones, or do you see just Apple and Google eventually entering the party? Apple and Google entering fight, and then beating the shit out of all these guys. Well, I guess Apple's already there with Vision Pro. Google has been reported to be rebooting Google Lens. So they have a whole new team. Yeah, they have I'll find the article. They have a brand new team, new funding, new team lead coming in for VR and AR. But the Google Lens is being booted back up.
It's gonna change. All it takes is for one of those companies to come up with a great idea and one of them to get bought out, and for that company to get bought out by one of those companies or put onto that team, and to make another product. To where they can revolutionize the industry, and then that becomes a new standard. Because in upload, if you look at their phones, all they do is this.
Yeah.
Same thing we do with our phones. Same thing. All they do is this.
And then the screen just pops up.
And screen pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so all you need, if you had that little button communicator from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And if somebody calls, you just tap it. And
that's what that pin is kind of like.
Do that.
That's what Humane is.
Exactly.
It's the hollow.
So you can use your palm. So it's kind of like upload, except for it's not holographic or holographic. Hard to make, right? But
because they get it from, because this is a wristband, isn't it?
No, it's a
it's
a pin and it projects.
No, I'm talking from upload.
Oh, no, it's a ring.
A ring, okay. That's
ring. It's the rings, and they do like that, and the ring. You'll see the ring glowing. But what I was saying is that I think we're still at a point where the stuff is too big and clunky.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think once the form factor shrinks enough, that's when it changes. So if you think that can happen in 5 years, then yes, I do think we'll ditch the smartphones. But I don't think that we're ready to, because the form factor, and not to mention those high resolution screens aren't going anywhere, right? How are you gonna? You're still gonna have some kind of device now. May your smartphone become dumber, right? Unless maybe start subdividing tasks to different devices again, maybe. But that resolution screen is important, right? I don't know what will be on my palm. I'm sorry, it's not gonna look as good as that high resolution screen.
Right. The reason why projectors have never really taken off.
Exactly.
Besides the massive expensive ones, even still, you're gonna pay that much for a projector. Dumb on you. You might as well just buy a goddamn TV. But yeah.
So if they had instead of having, what if it was lenses? like contact lenses.
Carl was saying that in the
I
chat.
was saying my contact lenses. So
Yeah,
what,
no, I
mean,
get that.
yeah.
But are those lenses at the point now where you can get the resolution of your screen? Or are you going to still be sacrificing air quote pixels? Because
Good question.
those will have to be some tiny pixels. Are we making pixels that small that's going to give us the same resolution as like your iPhone is doing right now?
Possibly. If they're making screens that can do VR or AR,
has intense screens.
Carl
That's
said,
a
so that would be crazy. Like, yeah, if you're going
apparently like a fantastic like screen.
If you're going contact lenses, then the next thing to do is the motion tracking, which they're already doing, to where you can where you wear that little pin and it basically sends what information to your lenses. Yeah, then I mean, yeah, I can see a stitch in the phone.
think about a camera phone. Yeah.
Do I want to put contact lenses that can show video in my eyes? I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
They were already talking about doing
glasses?
that a couple years ago.
I rock some shades or some glasses that have that project. But contact lenses, that's a little too close to my actual eyeball.
Some Tony Stark glasses.
Yeah, like the Ada or whatever, Edith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm down for, but I don't think 5 years is I think 5 years is too soon.
Yeah.
Or
maybe 10.
for it to become something that we do, like ubiquitous, like cell phones.
Also, it has to be higher demand. Well, not higher demand, but like there has to be more of a push for innovation. Like lately, it has been the push for innovation has been slowed down. Like it's all
lately as in when? Hold on, wait.
Like in my opinion, like the last five years.
Really?
Tech would argue. I'm not Tech Swab would probably argue since the dawn of time. They've been holding us back.
Like shit. No, I think definitely the last year or two feels like
surprise, motherfucker.
Fast.
Oh, Carl said I need to get my 2 cents in.
I need to put my mind.
Gotta get them opinions off right quick.
Gotta get them opinions out right quick. It's about to take my spot.
First of all, I had no idea you guys were meeting tonight. Just putting that out there.
He said I got the notification. Like my friends are meeting without me.
And then, yeah, I just happened to look at Twitch. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Surprise!
It's like, oh.
And there was like people who said they were going to be able to make it today. And I saw 4, and I saw 4 for yes, including me. And one down them, I was like, well, Carl might not be able to make it today. But I didn't check. So that's on me.
Haven't looked at Blerdimension server in quite a bit, just saying. Yeah. But everybody else should totally check it out and message us. Okay.
Absolutely.
But yeah, my two cents was camera phone sensors. So contact lens would essentially have to be the opposite of the contact lens. Those are already super small.
Mm-hmm.
So a camera phone sensor just collects light. You have to do the opposite thing that shoots out light at the right intensity and all that. So I don't think we're probably not there with the tech to get the resolution, because like I told you, I need at least 4K per eye. And it needs to be at least 120 frames. I need that.
Right. You need that.
So, but like, I don't think that's a never happen type thing or super far out. It just where you put the money. But to me, the biggest thing is the compute. So Vision Pro is a game changer because it has an M2. Like Google, not Google Lens, because you just put your phone into that. So it was whatever thing your phone had. Mm-hmm. But the other one, I think it was Google Daydream or something like that. I think it was called.
Maybe that was what.
It was underpowered. It used essentially a phone processor. But a phone processor 5 to 10 years ago is not nearly powerful enough, but an M2 is starting to get there, right? And to me, like the innovation slowed down because we haven't had a quantum leap. So innovation sped up with the smartphone because we had a quantum leap in how you interacted with technology.
Yep.
And then shortly after that, you had a quantum leap in compute capability of that device. Like, an iPhone is way more powerful from a compute perspective than probably a $500 laptop.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I can see
fair.
that.
Easily, right? Without fans, without any of that. And it has a modem and it has all this other stuff and it has a neural engine, whatever, right? It's way more powerful. So if you couple more advanced compute, and you have to bundle in now more neural compute too, MPUs, I guess is the term they're throwing out these days. If you couple that with a new way of interacting, which this VR AR stuff would be,
Yeah.
then the innovation cycle starts all over again.
See your point.
We haven't had a quantum leap in interface, in compute, in energy reduction. The closest thing to that is M series of chips.
Yes.
But I want these contact lenses. I'm terrified of getting hacked and somebody beaming pure white light when I'm in REM sleep just because they want to screw with me. And you can't close your eyelids on that.
No, the worst thing is you're in traffic and they make the light green.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Green. I was literally having this conversation with a colleague earlier today. I kid you not. I was having this conversation with a colleague earlier today in regards to the fact of like, I can already see like the visual hacks or just like, again, like AJ, I didn't even think about that. That's a fucking great one. Like turning the visual display like green prior to yes, but because one of the things I always think about is in like Cyberpunk, for example, how everything is almost like either hard light or like a VR display, right? We have no idea if it's like in the game while you're walking around, it could be hard light, it could just be like an AR overlay. But like, could you imagine if just like someone like turned off all the AR overlay in like one section of a city? Like all the signs, all the like the directional paths, like all the like stop go, all that stuff, like it's just gone. Like that'd be amazing.
So I
would love to do that.
don't know if y'all,
Amazing
how many of y'all watch Naruto, right? But like ninjutsu would become a thing, where it's like they can manipulate everything you see. So like they can just like put you in hell, like and all you got to take your lenses out.
Yep.
Whatever they
But
show.
how hard would it be to take lenses out when they can make you see anything and you can't stop yourself from seeing?
Right. That's my point.
Like it'd be incredibly hard to take your lenses
I'll ever
out.
do the computer in the brain, because if like one, if it can directly mess with my perception, once somebody has that, they can just make me see whatever. It's over.
Seeing is just half the battle. They can make you think anything they want.
And they've shown where like they've hypnotized or like altered people's perceptions and tell them something hot has touched them and they'll develop blisters. So it's like you can,
because your body reacts to what your mind tells it to do.
Exactly.
Basically.
The mind is the strongest thing. As much as I joke, but this one right here, unless it becomes necessary for me to make money, I am not putting one of those things in my head. No. Now, if it's the only way I can catch a job,
if it's the only way to catch a job, man, I'm a farmer. I'm going back to the roots of humanity. Like, what are we talking
Hey,
about?
that's not free, AJ. You gotta buy land.
That's not
You gotta
facts.
buy
That's not free. You
equipment.
gotta buy land. And what if the only way to purchase land now is through a mental contract, AJ?
Oh my,
No,
yo,
listen,
Ain't got a farm officially. There's so much land out here, people ain't even checking. You have a small farm that's in the middle of your property. You won't know.
gotta sign that thing with Neuralink.
That's
Oh,
not a thing with Neuralink.
That's
You know,
they
that's the
did
only way
that
you can
in
get the land signed
South
off.
Central. They did that in South Central, like people's, because it was such a food desert. Like,
mhm.
dude had a TED talk where they just start planting tomatoes and various things on like medians and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
You know,
there's
and
a
there's a
Mhm.
TED talk on that.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I do. I'm like, oh, this land, they're not gonna stop. Like, really, you're gonna police every square inch of this what you call it? My little potato farm gonna be sitting over there. You ain't gonna
If
even
you
know
black,
what's going on.
you will be
All
policed.
I need is sweet potatoes and some sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, and my entire family can survive off that. We'll hate ourselves, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, we coming.
It's funny.
reminds me of
sweet
this joint.
potatoes and
Put some,
broccoli,
put some greens on
you
it.
get all the nutrients you need.
All right.
That's true.
What did you say?
But I mean, literal potatoes saved an entire country, right? Like, or entire,
Yes,
True.
like
True.
Yeah.
but
Just some
it's
potatoes and apples.
sweet potatoes is more nutritious than regular potatoes, though.
that's true.
Yeah. You said sweet potatoes and broccoli. Get everything you need.
Yeah. Yes,
That's true.
Get some cauliflower.
Keep that in mind.
I did that. I did that for a week.
Don't
Hated
recommend.
every part of my life.
Don't recommend it. Don't. Like 0 out of 0 would not recommend. Like it's just it's not. No, it's not
But
fun
if,
at
hey,
all.
but if you want to lose weight, though, wow.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Can't eat
I
some potatoes.
Nobody wants to lose
It's
that
just a
bad.
matter of calorie deficit.
there's no way.
You can do that in a lot of different ways without
That's what you
torturing
want to cause up
yourself.
to. Yeah.
Torture for what? Like, no. But yeah, the brain. You missed the organoid chat, Carl.
Oh
Brain
my God.
implants definitely brings me back to
Let me tell
that
you
one.
something, Carl. When he told me this thing, my back got cold and my front got hot. Now I don't know what that means. That's how I
Yo,
felt.
it's
I
bad.
felt like I was
He said
in
that's
a microwave during that conversation. So, at your own risk.
Listen, there is no brain modification going on over here.
But you never
Absolutely
know.
not.
Would you let your kids do it? Like if your kid came to you and was just
No.
like, I'm doing a brain implant, like, because that's like
Like,
the thing. That's like getting a new iPhone.
Here's your choice. You're telling me you're doing this no matter what. I have no problem euthanizing you.
Wow.
You have no choice in the matter. I
Wow.
don't care.
Let
Oh,
me help you
you're
out
30
here.
years old now and you can make your own decision? No, you can't.
No, you
No, you
can't.
can't.
Not allowed. No, you can't.
Free will
My
revolt.
family will my family will not be part of these implanted mofos. I'll never believe you have autonomy ever again. You got some chip up in your head. Stop it.
Nah,
Ever again.
it would be
I'm
hard
sorry.
to fathom. Like, especially
It's
with
hard
these
to believe we
things.
have it now with all the
What company?
manipulation we get in our own feeds. You know, like it's hard to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
Say again, AJ?
I was just saying, like, who's gonna implant this? Like, I don't want to be owned by Tesla or by Apple.
Facts. Well, if it's Apple.
Keep.
The only thing
It
that means you're
depends.
going to be stylish. That's it. You're still somebody's pawn.
You're not letting
Right.
any company do that shit. Fuck that.
Nah, I like, and like, not okay. Even if let's say the company didn't own you, you know, there was a way you can cut off all the networking that thing can never phone home. All you need is like one jerk with a flipper zero to come in there and
Yeah.
wreck your shit. Like, I'm not
That's all you
interested, man.
need. That's all you need, man.
Nah.
That's
Or whatever
all
the version
you
of Flipper Zero
need.
will be by the
Flipper Zero
time, you know,
is.
we're doing that. Nah.
Last thing you do.
Imagine your physical body being owned by a Flipper Zero. Like, imagine going to
Yep.
DEF CON and just walk, like, as soon as you get in there.
I would never go to DEF CON again if I had one of those in my
Robot.
brain. You just asking for
no.
trouble.
Hell
Like, you
no.
just, that's a stupid thing to do.
Nah.
Shit, I wouldn't even go to DEF CON if I have a pacemaker in my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just,
Yo,
what the
seriously.
Somebody hack your shit.
I saw a lot of reports
Like-
about people like messing with insulin pumps, and I was like, what?
Hell
Yep.
yeah,
What
those
type
Yep.
of
people
person
are
are you?
assholes.
People
First of
don't
all,
care. They were like,
and
"Oh, you can't."
People are saying like it's gonna be like their new way to watch movies, but I always feel like movies are such a social thing. Like if you live alone, sure, save space on like a TV and stuff like that, and like
No,
watch
you
it.
just got to spend 20 grand so that your 3 other friends also have it.
yeah,
Facts.
or you pick a better class of friends. Your friends can't afford to get new friends.
You're
Damn.
right. My friends can't afford it. I should
You gotta start hanging out at the VR lounge. Pick up some of them.
Yeah, you just like, nah, I'm not. I don't hang with people who can't afford to, VR chat.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm hanging out.
You know how the kids are. They don't like people who have Android phones now. So
Oh, looks like I'm out the gang, y'all.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as soon as
You've been out the game for a while.
Dang, ice cold.
Hey, I love my Android phone. I can't say nothing about it.
I bet you do.
I know I can zoom in on the moon and get a good picture on like iPhones.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's pretty
Taking pictures of the moon with your phone, that's your first problem.
What's your first problem?
Hey, I see
Only
all the
Android
pictures.
people will think like that.
I see all the pictures I want.
I didn't say spaceships.
People
Hold
will
on.
think like that way.
Mhm. Yeah.
You taking pictures on this
See,
planet?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow, look, those Android users, they be tripping. It's that low class air they be breathing from those phones. There's all that
I never
radiation coming off. the battery.
got like why people think
Yeah.
that iPhones are so like, oh, if you're iPhones then you're rich. Bitch, they're the same fucking price.
No,
Branding.
it's not about the rich. It is you're classier. It's not even.
Yes, you're more classier.
It's
It's like
like
having
Classier
a basic watch and a Rolex. It's like it just.
But
Two
there's
different
a
things.
difference in price there.
That's true.
It's more like
Oh,
it'd be close. The better, like a comparison would be like a Rolex versus like an Ice Link. I don't know if you ever heard of that watch, but
no.
Ice Link would probably be something a rapper would
Mm.
wear.
And Rolex is more like a classy.
But the difference between a Rolex and like a big like a very expensive watch like that, I'm not gonna wear that expensive watch everywhere. I'm gonna wear it to maybe a dinner, maybe to an outing, or maybe to.
You're telling on yourself. You're telling on
I'm
yourself.
not telling myself.
Because
like that's their watch.
There should be a watch for every occasion. But they all need to be on that level. But
that's what I'm
on the
saying.
level.
People say they're all Rolexes.
But that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't wear. You would have different occasions for different watches.
If you're wearing a Rolex, right, and if all your high quality watches are Rolexes, you're kind of telling on yourself that you're not really a connoisseur like that. You just
Or you really like Rolexes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nah, you telling us you don't know about it.
For class people.
You're low quality trash. If you think that,
I mean,
I
didn't say all that. I mean, you just might want to up your game.
You're definitely not Apple Vision Pro
material.
material.
Oh wow,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Nah, you gotta work in some other brands in there. That's all I'm saying. But you're on that level. Maybe your cheapest watch is 5 racks.
5 racks.
Yeah. Okay. I can say that.
It doesn't even project AR into my living room. So.
Nothing.
Facts.
Listen, it doesn't gain or lose
do
a
hold
second
value,
in
though.
10,000 years, baby. Come on.
10,000.
That precision move. That precision movement.
You know what? We'll come back to the watches. I ain't gonna be alive in 10,000 years.
Yeah, why do I care about that? Like, why do I care if
you can't undershoot yourself? There's a lot of anti-aging stuff happening right now too. We could be alive long enough for living to become a
brain
subscription.
implants. Yeah,
They ain't giving it to us.
I don't want it. I don't think I want
They
it.
also tested on somebody, Suave. I mean,
If
They
you,
ain't
these.
giving
yeah,
it. They ain't giving it to
somebody
us. They giving us the defects,
like
Yeah.
the defect
facts.
serum,
Or the first version. They'll let
first
you use
Blood.
version.
the version, and then you know when all the you have all the liver spots and stuff because your cells
Right.
all crazy and stuff, and they just
Kidney
Mhm.
failing, all that shit. They're like, oh my god, why
Why?
are you kidney failing?
Why
well,
do
when
black
they
people
did,
age so gracefully? I mean,
I mean, they use that. What's that one woman's name for stem cells?
Henrietta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still haven't. I think they finally actually gave her credit.
Yeah, they gave her for family credit. Yeah, they
no, I don't need no credit.
some stuff. They might
Facts.
be
I
doing
need
some
some
good stuff,
zeros.
but we don't
Get
know.
some zeros.
Right.
But yeah,
Greenbacks, baby.
her cell literally is just like I ain't aging. Like that, those specific
Pretty much.
cancer cells. Like I'm not going nowhere. Immortal.
Pretty much.
They're trying
Wow.
to like I get it. Like that's super valuable because no other cells are doing that. But yeah, the fact that her family are not billionaires is crazy.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
You know why, but you know.
play your cards right. You could be a trilly with that. Like, you don't die. I mean,
No,
you
I'm
can
saying
charge whatever you want for that.
just for cells.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if her family was fully able to capitalize on that between from the time she died till now,
Oh,
like, you're probably not
Yeah.
too far from a trilly. Like, if you do that, if you extract all the value you could get from that, like
Mhm. Requires a lot
pharmaceutical
of
drugs,
infrastructure. Yeah.
makeup, yeah, the genetics, but like it's not just one avenue to extract billions of dollars from something like that. That's what
that
I'm
definitely
saying.
changed the medical field, though. Like the research and also
Yeah,
the procedures that they do for certain things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like,
And I'd be charging the heck out of these mofos
dog,
for
Every
some
single damn
license
time.
access to it.
bro, you ain't lying,
So
man. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna circle back to CES really quick. Did you catch any of that, Carl? We were talking about like the transparent displays
Very.
and
So
that's
okay, so transparent displays have been around for a while. I think what's different this year is CS, which I didn't really get to see it, but is that they had OLED and micro LED transparent, but they've had transparent displays for a minute now.
Okay.
But now you get higher resolution and more brightness.
quick
So
question. If someone
and
walks
Samsung.
behind it, does it block them out so that like it
no,
becomes like
no, it's translucent. So I
no, I
think
know
now.
that, but I'm saying like
Mhm.
can it change like the can it add its own like like can it make it opaque when a person walks behind it so that you can still see the picture?
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
That's interesting.
potentially with this is why I'm saying I missed it. Maybe with these newer ones, because all that is a matter of brightness. But like, okay, so like if it's a dark scene, right, that's usually black. So, but black and transparent is transparent. So I'm assuming you're saying, okay, can you just black that out and not make that part transparent?
Yeah, like not make that like if I walk across or behind someone's TV because you're gonna have a transparent display, right? You want it to be in the middle and to be able to orbit around it, right? There's almost no other reason having a transparent display if you're not gonna to orbit around it. So if I walk behind it, it's almost like
Yeah.
it's not like walking in front of it, but it is disturbing everybody else. Like
If
somebody
you think the reason is going to be for people to watch movies, no, like the at least back in the day, what people marketed as mostly is digital signage. So think about like airport terminals, and you have a more open feel. So instead of looking up at monitors, you could have a column that's just translucent, and you don't block anything.
but that is a very expensive screen for that use case. Like it's so much more expensive to do that than to just hang a couple of TVs. Like
Well, of course, yeah, but But people will spend that if you're trying to create a certain vibe. Like if you're just trying to be utilitarian, cool. But like I don't know the last time you've been to an airport. There's very few middle class mofo's up in there.
Oh, that's true.
Like if you middle class, the airport's not really for you.
Yeah.
It's for business class and rich people, or at the very least upper middle class. So, like what kind of vibe? If in your airport you have Louis Vuitton, you have Chanel store in your airport, you want to have some low end TV with huge bezels. We're not doing that. No, you're trying to create a vibe out here. We're modern. The Dubais of the world. This is who's going to be scooping these sorts of stuff. Because now you have this architectural freedom that you didn't have before. You don't have to have these permanent signs. You can have whatever sign. Like think about like in the window of a Starbucks, you could just fall rolling around pumpkin spice, and now you can have a whimsical animation to go as you're looking through the window at people enjoying their Starbucks inside. Like
But
that's the type of stuff they'd be going for.
Or have the animation come out.
This issue with
Yeah.
screens though that it's really hard to make panels that large. So like, wouldn't that be?
So the panels, why it's hard is because they would break, right? So if you're trying to make a TV, it's a solid panel. So if you try to do like over 100 inches,
Yes, if you
it's gonna break under its weight and the glass, right? But if you're doing something that's completely flexible and is essentially almost like tint on a glass, then it's not a concern anymore, right? Because almost all these displays, they're flexible displays, so you can contour them on. You have to be so. But yeah, they can make like they've been making like 80 inches is now a regular TV.
Yeah.
Right. That used to be super huge. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's just a regular TV now.
Yep.
Like you could get 80 inches. Almost every brand has a TV at least that size.
But I say if you don't have nothing, if you don't have a 50-inch or higher, then shit.
Yeah, like a 50 inch is not even considered big screen anymore. Like that used to be big screen. That's just a standard TV now.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't have to worry if you don't have to deal with the glass. So I'm sure with most of these installations, like you get the display and then they fit it as depending on what you're, because that seems like very custom work. Like you don't just, hey, give me this display and I'll stick it somewhere. No,
It'd be
it's
a
going to be very
special
specific
niche.
to what you want.
Yeah, it'd be a special niche that fits that, because a lot of people are trying to do that, the whole IoT. Oh, sorry, hold on, that's in my mind. But they're trying to do the whole IoT, connect everything type city. So like having those displays where they can have a AR feel, like for instance for Starbucks, like have like a AR like snowman come out and like, hey, come try pumpkin spice or peppermint peppermint macchiato, whatever.
I don't think that's.
I don't think it's one. I don't care. Only things I drink from Starbucks is the strawberry refresher, green tea, lemonade, or some other shit.
So you don't even get coffee.
I don't like coffee. I get a frappuccino, maybe, but
that's coffee.
Yeah,
that's about it. I rarely get that. But yeah, I think it's like more and more. Hopefully, like I said, the innovation pushes to where that becomes like certain stuff becomes a new standard, basically.
Yeah, I think the translucent displays is like a gap until this AR stuff really hits like it should. Like if it's contacts or glasses, And I think I talked myself out of the context because, like, if they're hacked, there's nothing you could do. Like, it'd be very hard to even. You have to pretty much try to gouge your eyes out because you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So probably glasses for me.
Definitely.
I just look like I just look like I have reading glasses. Deal with that.
Me.
Yeah,
Same with me, man.
so you can just
100%.
take those off like that. It's a quick
Yeah,
look. You don't have to.
yeah.
Right.
You hack it,
Oh,
just snap that thing off my head. Oh,
that's quick.
Yeah.
That shit out
Yeah.
of here.
You know
Quickly.
you get Rick rolled at least once walking down there.
Oh my gosh.
Just instantly Rick rolled. That's all you see in front of you.
You get hypnotized first.
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, if AR is on point, I don't think there's much of a need for translucent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess for you know what, we'll circle back to AR. I do have a question about switching the like glasses, for example, as opposed to a headset and immersion. But I do want to look at some of this other stuff real quick. So Honda, I don't know if y'all saw this. They put out a like two new concepts, two new vehicle concepts. I feel like a lot of the concepts that I've been seeing like the last couple years are, I don't know, they seem to be more like turning the car into like a communal space more than like a you know, a vehicle that a human is gonna pilot. How do y'all feel? Like they got a yoke in here, and it's like there's less yoke than there is in the Model X, and I'm just like, how is a person gonna drive this? Like this thing has wheels. That's why we put
It's not. It's not there for people to drive it.
Wait a minute.
You just.
Carl, I'm
It's
not ready
for
for that
people.
future, bro.
I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. Like they're not. So, like this is because of Tesla. So
Yeah.
Tesla Tesla comes out with autopilot a million years ago. People's like not paying attention to them. They start selling a lot of cars, not quite paying attention to them. And then people's, autopilot's getting a little better. Just the beta is out there and they're like, this might be a thing. If Tesla's the only one to have this, we're screwed. And then they're looking at Tesla's stock price and looking at all this stuff. It's just FOMO. I do not believe Honda, any other automaker for that matter, has the technical chops to deliver an autonomous vehicle. That's my belief. No evidence really, but I don't see it.
Not
Now,
yet.
let's just say some company or a group of companies come together and they do solve autonomy and they're just licensing it. The other reason they would want to do this is like the stock price of automakers for the most part crash, right? Like if you take like a tech company, you're usually going to have anywhere from 10 to 100 times multiple earnings. Their stock price per share is about 10 to 100 times what it is. If you look at a car company, it's about 20%. It's not an X, it's a fraction of their revenue. So their stock price is garbage, which is why they have to pay, dividends. Most tech stocks don't pay dividends because they don't have to. Your car, you pretty much have to pay a dividend just to prop up your share price. So they're like, how can we make more money? And they believe they're going to be able to sell you experiences inside your car. So they're going to subscription you to death in your own car is what is the game plan, pretty much. So that's why it's communal, because it's like, okay, now that we're in here together, guys, we don't have to drive. What are we going to do? Watch a movie? Oh, yeah, we paid to stream the movie, download that new game, maybe a cloud game streaming thing, get a few bucks, whatever subscription idea you've ever trying to do in these cars. So it's a revenue stream, but I just don't believe Honda is the company to deliver the best version of that.
I get that. Are you I don't remember if you were here for that. Did you see the robots that like the helper robots that you're supposed to have in your house, but they're like base, they're toy Camry LE prices? How you feel about that?
So if they're legitimate, close to iRobot level, and their Camry LE is steal.
I mean,
that'll be an amazing price. Because think about it, if you had, unfortunately, some of my aunts and uncles are getting to that age. At that stage, it seems like once a year, aunt and uncle disappears, right? Okay, so before then, they probably do need some live-in assistance.
Okay, I see where you're going.
The live-in nurse, how much is that going to cost?
Expensive.
At
Upwards
least
of $50K if you're in America.
On that per month basis, though, not a year. Like
a lot. I mean,
put it another way.
6,000.
Like if you go to a nurse, let's not even do live-in. The price of that is crazy. If you do a nursing home, at least $10K a month. That's a month at least, right? So times 12, we're talking 120 grand per year. Camry LE, okay. Let's say you getting a fully loaded Camry, racks, fully loaded. That's a steal. That's a one-time fee.
Yeah. That
you get to do. That gets to help you out now until it breaks down. Right? That's way cheaper. That's cheaper than Mary maids coming to your house every day. So this is what I'm saying. Like if they could deliver something that compelling at that price point, it's a game changer. We're all fired immediately. We're all fired. Like
it happened so fast.
Because why? You got to pay health insurance. You got to pay salary and vacation time. You're not doing that. Like unemployment goes from 3% to 99% overnight.
So fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
So, because even for like a fast food, even though I know McDonald's pretty much pays everybody $15 an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it costs 40 grand. But let's say, you work at some mom and pop restaurant, you make a minimum wage, you make like 20 grand a year. So it's still better to outfit your whole restaurant with that because what? You pay for it once. They'll never call out on you. They'll never no call. And in 18 months, you've made your money back. And then it's pure profit after that. You have free work. So it doesn't matter how low skill, how cheap the job is, it will always be worth it to buy that.
Yeah.
Like and just use that as your employees. Exactly.
Human subscription.
One-time cost plus, some maintenance fees. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Versus employing humans and the uncertainty around that, it's a no-brainer. Which is why Elon is trying to get Optimus working, because if he can make Optimus even as cheap as 100 grand, for most jobs it's still they don't get tired. You can work them 24/7. There's no 9 to 5 anymore. It's 24/7. All you do is supply them with energy and some maintenance. It's still worth it. So if you hit a Camry price, oh my gosh, you can't make enough of it. You're all sold.
Yeah. I mean, we are definitely barreling toward that future. There was, I don't think it was at CES, but I did, or maybe it was during CES. I don't know. But there was another robot where they're like working on dexterity, and so it's like they've been able to make one that can like do everything that human hands do. Like they can grasp, like all the fine motor control that you need for like a humanoid robot to be useful to humans. And you know, I'm just
Yeah, I want to see that because Tesla is already pretty far down that road with Optimus with its
are they?
dexterity. Yeah, that thing's pretty dexterous already. So to me, like the final level is, can it do surgery?
Mm,
Is now if it could do now if it's as dexterous to do surgery, all that's left is just train that model, right?
yeah.
Just train the model. It already has the physical capability. Just train the model, and $1 million brain surgery is now 10,000.
Yeah.
Like yeah, AI plus robots. There's no job that's safe.
None at all.
Zero jobs safe.
Oh, here it is. This one, right? No, I'm gonna find that thing. Yeah, and that you know, the brain organoids and the I mean, that thing is
Keep
gonna
bringing up those
be.
brain organized. You're really trying to make it hard for him to
Listen.
get sleep tonight. I told you, my back was cold and my front was hot. Like that don't just happen.
Oh my gosh, like you're in a microwave with no turning plate.
No, I was like, I looked. I was like, did my room become like? It's so, I don't know, chilling. It was like Suave put like a flashlight under his face and he was like telling a scary story to me.
It's a surprise, motherfucker, and they come and
No.
eat your brain, nigga.
Absolutely.
Oh
Oh,
my
they
God.
did. That was the other thing. After they did the dead mouse head thing, they implanted them in mice that were having vision problems, and like the thing attached, it vascularized, integrated into the mouse brain, and then like, you know, basically fixed those circuits or whatever. So, and
Sure.
like
Hey,
yeah, fixed.
Virtually
Who knows who's seeing what, right?
that mouse
You don't know.
family probably doesn't even recognize them anymore.
John been different since the procedure.
Mm-mm.
Oh my
No.
gosh. He don't.
Don't tell me these things can go in my brain and just change
Yeah.
stuff around.
I mean, they're not super.
Somebody
not
walking in the house and moving your furniture around.
Yeah. Oh my god, I get enough of that already. Like, put something down and look away for a second, it's gone. Like, can you imagine if it was actually like not you, but just someone piloting your body, just like moving your stuff?
You never thought.
You have oh my nightmare,
Mm-mm.
absolute nightmare. You go to
Yeah, I'm
find
not.
your car.
I wasn't planning on sleeping tonight anyway, or this morning.
There you go. You know, I can send you the I can send you the
No, I
videos.
don't need it. I don't need it. You did a good job of explaining it. I really don't need it, Swab.
Yo,
I don't know if I'll sleep tomorrow either.
man, I couldn't believe I have been blown away by that. I didn't know we were doing that. I didn't know we were so like they don't think that they're conscious, like they have no concept of self, but they do think that they're sentient.
So how do you define the difference between conscious and sentient?
Conscious would be like, you know, you AJ, you know you're AJ.
I am kind of stuff.
Yeah. But you know, these things
How do you
can
prove
think,
that?
they can problem solve. I don't know how you prove that. I guess one day when they start talking, we'll figure it out.
No, please. That's
No, you still.
what I'm talking about here, Swab. My back is now cold again. The front is hot.
Because they did with the what was it with the mouse head, right? The scientists they started like sending electrical signals, and then like the little organoid learned to do it itself and started sending electrical signals. I was like, yo, what are we doing, guys? Stop this!
It's called orchestrating our own demise, and you're watching it in real time.
Absolutely, just like cheering with bells on.
Yeah,
These things are gonna murder us.
This is how the world ends with thunderous applause. Or whatever they said.
Yep. So when they start putting those things in robots, oh man, it's over. We're in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean we're just in a holding stage for over. You're like we're in an Over's lobby in its waiting area. Like it is over. That's where we're headed. But
Oh, and they just recently, I was watching an update. They started experimenting putting these things in like little computers, basically to make like an organic supercomputer.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is you're starting to get the horror bug, like J.K. and Crescent now. You like horror movies. That's what I'm hearing.
This is existential horror. It's different. You know, that's everyday life.
No, not for me. For me, I get the same sensation. This is as scary as anything Kristen and JK watch, and you're just literally like, I'll subscribe. I want to hear more.
I'd like to know more about this.
I want more scary story. You subscribe to a scary story serial is what you subscribe to.
I really did. I well beyond anything that I knew was going on in this realm. So they, what was that? I mean, I don't know how you measure like consciousness, because like for them, like for the little brain organoid, they have like brain waves that are similar to 22-week-old fetuses. And so like, I mean, you wouldn't, like a 22-week-old fetus can't talk, you know? So
they keep moving the goalposts on that stuff because it's like the Turing test was supposed to be the thing, right?
Right.
There's so many things that can pass the Turing test now, but we're like, no, it's not conscious. We're just saying
Let's
that,
keep
like
going.
we don't have, yeah, like it's just to make sure nobody's uncomfortable.
We don't know if we're conscious. Like we can't prove
Absolutely
that it's conscious. So
exactly.
how are we gonna prove?
We can't even prove reality that reality exists. Like, well, we're gonna try to say, yeah. This is conscious. It's not conscious. Like, stop it.
Nah, they just want to keep messing around with things that are dangerous, and they don't want nobody to tell them to stop. So like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, is it now the blob like going around just absorbing things? Like, isn't that how the blob started?
Oh my gosh.
All right. First of all, that was like the most terrifying thing that I remembered in early childhood. So we're not going to talk about the blob.
I don't know why that was scary, but when I was a kid, the blob.
That
terrifying.
Yes.
My soul.
White movie, terrifying. And I don't know why that was It was frightening.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember trying to watch the first like 5 minutes. I turned it off. Never seen the end of it. Refused. Couldn't do it.
You seen it, JK?
What, the blob?
Yeah.
Yeah, several times.
Several times.
Of course it did. Of course it did. No, that's commensurate with the type.
I've seen the movie. I've seen like clips of like showing recap, like a quick recap of the movie, and
that movie was frightening. I literally was like my cover reminded me of the blob, and I was like, how am I gonna sleep tonight? Like my cover, like getting in the bed felt like I was like in the. I'm like,
oh no.
I gotta make I need to make my stuff flat. There's no bunching up and nothing. Like it's
sleep on top of the cover. You don't
like I gotta get rid of all those wrinkles. Like it needs to just lay perfectly flat.
Yeah, like it was. I don't know why that was psychologically so disturbing to me as a child. Because if you think about it now,
it seems unstoppable.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It's nothing you can do.
There's an inevitability to. What are you gonna shoot it? No.
For what?
Nothing you can do. It's just gonna keep consuming forever, and you're just gonna become food. It's sooner or later, and it just keeps getting bigger. Like it would be less scary if it just stayed one size somehow, but the fact that it just kept growing in mass also.
It was like that blob from like Pokemon. That purple
Muck.
And, that's it.
What's the other one? Grimer and Muck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I saw Leave the World Behind.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't swallow talking about that. And the way you talked about it, I was like, yep. I don't need to watch.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a movie for you.
That movie was. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is. That's why I said the Tesla thing was like They're already kind of doing this already.
Yeah.
If they wanted to,
What
somebody
Tesla
could
thing?
do it. There's a scene in the movie where the family's trying to get away from what's happening at the remote house, and they're trying to go on a highway, but it's blocked, and it's a bunch of Tesla cars just lined up all the way going into the city.
Oh, you talking about that Netflix movie?
Yeah. With Mahershala.
Oh yeah, so
yeah. And so the wife realizes, like, wait, these are brand new Tesla cars. Well, why the fuck are they out here? And then she sees like a Tesla car barreling towards them, and he just keeps crashing into the next model to jam up the entire highway system. Basically.
Wow. Yeah. Not interesting.
Just autonomously. There were no people. The
no
Teslas are just and like the factory stickers on these things are leaving the factory on autopilot and just crashing into each other.
Mm-hmm. I was like, shit, people can do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
and so they can't leave. They're stuck in this remote Airbnb that they rented for like a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the truth is, they were better off there than if they were.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. The rest of the world had ended. AJ, for the record, like we're never gonna watch this movie. The rest of the world was over. There was no reason for them to be there, but they didn't know that.
So they just need to farm.
They found out.
America that ended. We don't know that the rest of the world was America because an invasion of America.
Well, it was a cyber attack on America. So
yeah, that's also speculation, but that's what we. The speculation would lead you to believe that America was attacked and they took America, not that this was happening all over the world.
Yeah, it was to decentralize this country and cause a civil war, basically, and cause a coup d'état. So at the end of the movie, basically, they talk about people have taken guns and trying to take over the White House, and it's a coup, basically.
Like January 6th.
Mm-hmm. But more precise, but more concise. And I'm just gonna say his last thing about that movie. That little girl was selfish as shit.
Who we talking about?
At the end of the movie, that little girl left the family, said, I'm done waiting. Left the family, went to the next door neighbor's house, broke into the house, and started eating all their food, all their drinks. And just was sitting there just eating. And then she heard her noise, and then she went downstairs into a bunker that was like had enough food and everything for like movies, all that stuff for like ages. For like they could last there for a couple years.
Yeah.
And like, she's obsessed with Friends. Yeah. So she wants to see the last episode of Friends.
That's what she was trying to do before the internet went out. Like all the internet everywhere.
Right. And so she's like, Dad, fix the TV. I want to see Friends. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut your whiny ass up. And at the end of the movie, you just see her.
Of course.
Right. You just see her at the end of the movie, just front of the TV watching the last episode of Friends. Yep. Family don't know where she at.
Nah.
They looking for her. They almost died trying to find her. Like, hit the son got poisoned somehow.
And they figured out where she was, though.
No, they didn't.
They did.
Oh, they did?
Was there an epilogue?
Yeah.
Was there an epilogue?
No, like the mom was like,
she saw the house.
Mom saw the house. Yeah. And like, I'm sure she's there. And they saw like I think like a bike tracks or something like that. But they didn't go because
they saw
the bombs.
Yeah.
The bombs.
Yeah, New York got nuked, pretty much.
Oh.
And they saw like the mushroom cloud and the, not the cloud, but like the smoke and everything.
Yeah.
My movie, guys.
I think the nuclear power plants blew up.
I had no idea what the movie was about.
There's no nuke. power plants on Manhattan. They just dropped nukes on Manhattan.
They dropped nukes, or I thought it was.
I promise you, there's no.
I remember in the beginning of the movie that she was saying like, "Oh, there's power plants on."
They were talking about the power plants because that's how they took out power to everywhere.
Yeah,
but they're not on the island of Manhattan. Like, where would you?
Yeah, put it.
I
That'd
know
be the
they're not
most
on Manhattan.
expensive.
I know they're not on Manhattan, but I think they were on there. She was saying where they were at. I can't remember where it was.
But they were looking at Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing they're on Long Island, and they were like looking on Manhattan.
Probably so.
Yeah, y'all trying to
really sold it.
Yeah, no interest.
Well, the thing is, everything seemed pretty plausible.
Mm.
The only thing that is hard to imagine, not impossible, but just hard, is like all of the planning that would have had to go into this, and then none of our intelligence agencies got a whiff of it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Not impossible, but like that seems very hard. But then again, 9/11 happened, so they might even have been aware of it and just didn't make the right moves, right? So maybe
well, they thought it was it was not a
yeah,
what
because
was the word?
there's a whole lot of scares, right? Like, so you can't respond to everything. So they probably improperly assessed the threat level.
Right.
So I guess that could happen here, but you'd have to improperly assess the threat level on multiple. They took out power, they took out internet, they took out satellite phones, satellite internet.
Definitely, yeah.
Or if you take out the comms first, I mean, and do it quick,
That's what they did. They got rid of communication.
Yeah.
But like satellite phones, though, like it's not just taking out ground stuff.
No,
just taking out stuff.
They were serious.
Yeah. Like which I don't even know how much defense agency stuff you'd have to hack to get to that.
A lot.
So that's the part that's the hardest, I would say, to accomplish. I don't want to say it's impossible,
resources to do that. The amount of resources to do that is a lot, and so that's why
it doesn't matter though. The amount of resources is not a constraint because this is a government actor.
Well, they were thinking. Well, Homeboy was thinking it was multiple governments.
Even if it was one government, the resource cost is not a constraint because it's worth whatever it costs. If it was $1 trillion, it would still be worth it because you're going to make trillions more. You take America out of the picture and you can insert yourself, right? So the cost is not a constraint. It's the secrecy and the execution and not being detected.
Yeah.
But it's worth whatever it costs.
Yeah.
Next.
It was an interesting movie. I'll say.
Yeah. Good.
Hey, just like I'm good.
Good.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I saw the movie. You guys did a great job describing it. Fully terrifying for me. I hate the little girl too, JK. I think that's did a good job.
Got it all good.
But I disliked her passionately from jump. Like I saw her face, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna like you. And then she opened her mouth. I'm like, oh, I don't like you. Yeah,
100%.
And then she kept proving it over and over again throughout the. Yeah,
100%.
I don't like you.
If you want to go see a good action movie, though, The Beekeeper was good.
Beekeeper? Never even heard of that.
Yeah,
what is that?
So The Beekeeper is what Jason Statham.
Is that in theaters?
Yes, in theaters right now.
That's probably why I haven't heard it. Like I don't even see ads for movies anymore.
It didn't have a good. It didn't have a good ad run. I would say it wasn't really promoted like that. But I saw it in passing, and I was like, "Oh, it looks pretty good." It's
I
a
have
good
no
action
idea
movie.
what is out right now. Like any movie. I don't know of any movie that's in the theaters.
It's a slow
I don't
start.
see ads on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
So
a slow start
like I don't
in the movie category right now. It's
Mm.
not going to really pick up until after Godzilla versus Kong, maybe.
Yeah.
well
Go ahead, Carl.
I was gonna say I think the fall of Marvel might be somewhat of a good thing because they have to reset and start making a
Actual good
diversity
shit.
of movies again.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, all right, here's $1 billion, make a movie and we'll make 5 billion from it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's why they're hoping
Yeah.
for Deadpool 3 to bring in some good money.
Mm.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I
feel like the second one wasn't a smash, and I don't know why they would expect the third one to be.
Second one's actually pretty good.
It's all right.
I just meant commercially.
Yeah.
Oh, commercially, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't. I enjoyed the second movie, but it like what I was saying that you don't make money off of it. Doesn't really.
But they
matter.
expect it to be very good for
because they got Wolverine in it, so they're hoping that. Oh,
well, it's supposed to show the fall of Fox and the rise of like X-Men coming into
the
Marvel universe.
Mm.
But I don't know.
I don't know. Deadpool. As much as I enjoy it, it's hard to imagine it can save a franchise because it's kind of there to do the opposite. Like it tears down stuff on purpose. Like the thing that it's tearing down has to be stable, so that when it does makes the
So that it
jokes.
can survive.
Yeah, like
Right.
you're making jokes about a thing, right? And the only way that works is the thing has enough support that the jokes don't make people think that's the reality, right?
Mm.
So if everybody keeps making jokes about something and people start believing the jokes over reality, the thing becomes the joke.
Yeah.
So what you
It's
want
like the Onion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, imagine if the Onion was making fun of something and that was everybody's news source. You know what I'm saying? Like the Onion is funny because we know that it's fake. But if Deadpool becomes the thing that we base the rest of the Marvel universe off of and say, okay, this is going to save the Marvel universe, now the Onion is real, and the news is now what we don't believe. We believe the Onion, we don't believe the news. So good satire only works if the foundation of the thing is making fun of is sturdy, and that you can't say that about the Marvel universe right now.
Not at the moment. So real quick before we wrap up, this is getting late. I want to do a little like bootleg. What's good? Like, has anybody been watching like anything really good?
What's that show? I'm watching
I'm
Monarch.
watching Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling, yeah.
I haven't started that. I have been watching Monarch.
There's only 2 episodes. I will wait for another 2.
I've been reading it, man. I am like 90 chapters in on the book.
Oof.
I mean, on the comic because of the fact that I just know how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so JK was saying it was slow, like before the stream.
It was the first episode was slow.
And
Second
JK, you
episode
didn't read
picked
the
up.
comic, right?
No.
Okay, so if you've never read the comic and it's slow to you, for someone who's read the comic and knows where it's going, it's so much slower.
Painful.
I mean, like I'm talking about, you want to go to sleep kind of slow. I enjoy it. Not to say that it's bad. It looks good. I like the. I mean, the story. I like the story already, so I'm enjoying the story obviously, and the animation is great. So I'm like, it looks good, but just none of the coolest stuff happens yet. And I don't know, like with the pacing that they're the way they're pacing. I'm like, the first season can't possibly have some of the stuff I want to see. I mean, he'll be cooler by episode 4. By episode 4, he'll be the hero that you're hoping for, right? But he won't be the guy he is throughout the series until next season. Like he won't be the guy you like he won't be the protagonist you're looking for. I would say until the next series. Like his character has always been heroic, right?
Mhm.
Which is why, well, semi-heroic. He's a hero, and then he kind of scoffs at the idea of being a hero, as you see what happened in the second episode.
Yeah.
If Suave, if you saw the second episode yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so you'll see like there's this idea of being a hero, and then there's also this idea of how and it's just kind of like it's kind of like two heads of that coin, like an honest person observing someone being heroic versus taking care of yourself and your peoples.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, I've been watching Percy Jackson movie or show
Is that
on
good?
Disney Plus. It actually is pretty good. This one is, unlike the movie, is more book based.
Okay.
Yeah, I read every book but the last book of Percy Jackson because they did something in the last book to me that I was like, I can't forgive that. And I walked
Yeah, the
through.
last book was supposed to kind of end it all for the Percy Jackson, and then it picked back up with the
Egyptian gods.
the Egyptian gods is a different chronicle one. Chronicle of Cain is a whole book series of itself, but they had another one where it's instead of the Greek gods, it's the Roman gods. So, and it combined Percy Jackson, and it's the Roman equivalent of them for the gods.
Yeah, you can. That's a easy way to double up because they're literally the same
Exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's
Same
do this
powers and
all
everything.
over again.
Right. And so
From the top.
some of them had different powers. So like you have a Festus and you have Vulcan, who Vulcan is like the god of fire and animaton stuff like that. And so the kids who are from Hephaestus, they're good at making stuff and whatever, but the kids from Vulcan is a different is different.
Yeah, they're more the Hephaestus is more like mechanical and the other one's more like engineering kind of. So one of them's more like forging and the other one is building.
Yeah. Yeah. So like his brother in this book series, he's a Cyclops. Cyclops are good at forging, but with his brother, Percy's brother, he's also kind of good at engineering stuff too. Cause he built his shield like that. He had like a watch shield, so like he could tap the watch or click the watch on his wrist, and it turns into a shield.
Right.
So that's more engineering.
Right.
So I like all Rick Riordan's books. People say, "Oh, those are child books." Nah, they're not really child books. They're actually very adultish. If you look in between the lines,
it's YA, but it's written by an adult, so you're never.
Yeah.
It's probably a little. Actually, it might be a little bit before YA, middle grade to YA.
Yeah, yeah.
But that doesn't. I mean, adults are still writing these books. I mean, Harry Potter series is middle grade to YA.
Right.
And it's still one of the most lucrative franchises on the planet.
Right. And they made Annabeth Ashley Black, like she was supposed to.
I didn't know she was
books.
Black.
Yeah, she was, the way they explained her in the book, she was Black.
No. I might go back and try it again. I was so disappointed with that last book that I just put it down. That was when I first got into Audible. And I absorbed those books into that last book, and I was like, I don't like that dip.
I love the Percy Jackson books. I read all the books. Chronicles of Cain, I hope they make into a series, because the amount of stuff I learned from that book on Egyptian culture, Egyptian gods, like Mot, the Duat, stuff like that. It was actually very. It made me learn more on that. because if you think of Harry Potter and magic, like there's a certain when you think of Harry Potter, there's a certain there's wands, wizards, pots, stuff like that. But when it comes to magic and Egyptians, it's a whole different it's a whole different perspective of it.
Thought I could open that over here. It's cool.
But yeah, that's only, I think those are the major ones I watched. There's some other ones I watched, but
are y'all gonna watch the season 2 of Halo?
I'll check it out.
I can't
I'm gonna watch it. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised.
They didn't. The things they did to make Master Chief less Master Chief to me was like they made him like, I don't know. You can't humanize him. Like that's the thing. Like you're not supposed to humanize him, right? Because when you humanize him, then you have to introduce actual flaws, right? The thing about Master Chief is there are no actual flaws to him. He's very flat. Now you can say that what he's serving is flawed, but you can't. He serves what he's serving with 100% efficiency. Like it's what he does you're not gonna. He's gonna get the job done, right? That's what you know.
Yep.
He's gonna get the job done. He's a man of few words, and he does a lot of cool stunts. Yeah. So you always had to have other characters hold up the acting part of Halo. And what I think they take on is giving Master Chief character. He's not supposed. He's flat on purpose. It's like Sherlock Holmes. It's like if you made Sherlock Holmes like if you watch all the Sherlock Holmes series, they don't change who Sherlock Holmes is, right? Like you can watch Elementary, you can watch Sherlock, you can watch the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Enola Holmes or whatever.
I never watched that one, but that one they probably did change him because if he's sensitive and empathetic, they changed him, right? He's not empathetic.
Not really. In that one, he was growing. It was at the time where he was growing to be that Sherlock Holmes.
If you make Sherlock Holmes have empathy for people, especially at the beginning of the series, right? You don't. If you make him empathetic, because like even in Sherlock and Elementary, he learned to be more aware of other people. Yeah. But it was a long trek. For the most part, he's selfish and he's one-track mind. He's just brilliant.
Demanding.
Right. Yeah, demanding. Right. Exactly.
Oh, like,
that's who he is. He's flat. Superman will always be a good old boy. He's flat. Tarzan, beats his chest. He's flat. There are flat characters for a reason. Those characters, you like them for their flatness because they're supposed to represent something.
Oh, shit.
Master Chief is flat throughout the Halo series. He doesn't have a crisis of character or conscience. He doesn't question anything. Everything's flipping upside down. He just makes decisions like in the middle of it, right? Master Chief goes up, right? It's a video game. And he can't be confused because he has to point you, the player, to the next objective. So he's a robot in all sense purpose, like for the purpose of the story. He really is very robotic. And then they try to come in and make him human. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it because we all know Master Chief should not be the focus of the character, like the tension between characters, right? He shouldn't have a love interest because that's not who he is really, right?
Right.
That's not who he is. Like Cortana's the closest thing he has to a love interest. He don't love Cortana like that. She has been his companion for so many things that she is valuable. And loyalty is one of his traits.
Yeah.
So loyalty is what he finds with Cortana. So to do this thing where they try to turn him human and make him more whatever, I think they really ruined him for me. I was like, Master Chief is like, he's like bugging. Like, why is Master Chief?
Why you acting like this, Chief?
So you're right. He's supposed to be that type of flat character where like he's like the savior for a human race. Like he's supposed to be that he's supposed to be that soldier that can do anything.
Exactly.
And so the way they tried to get around that was saying that if it wasn't for those little balls that they took out from their skin, that is what desensitized them.
Yeah.
They're still human. That's the only thing that desensitized them, because after the girl took it out and she started acting crazy too.
Made them forget their memories.
Yeah, forget the memories, all that shit. The only ones who weren't like that were the ones who never took it out, was the other three. They were cold, stone, but they were loyal to Master Chief.
What we
to a certain
see,
extent.
what we see in Halo, the game, is Master Chief isn't cold in terms of like that he has no compassion for humans. You don't see him being like a Terminator. He's gonna murder a person randomly. You've never seen Master Chief kill anyone who didn't deserve it, right? That's
he only killed Revenants.
Yeah, he fought the war. Like that's what he does. And even when the military is like, "Hey, we're doing this," or Halo 5, a la Halo 5, he's like, "No, that's not how we win this war. We do this thing." And so he even went against the military that he served because he's loyal to the goal of saving humanity, right? So that's fine. But what I'm saying is, in this story, they tried to make it seem like, they turned him into robots and now he's becoming human. It's like, no, he's a trained soldier, and he's lived this life his entire life. Since he was a child, he's been trained to be a soldier, and so that's not going to just wear off because you remove the chip. Isn't the thing that conditioned him. He's been conditioned physically and mentally from childhood.
Right, because that chip made him believe.
No, I'm saying
he was made from that point of childhood to when he became an adult. When he learned about his past, then he's like, "What the fuck? I thought I was a soldier."
Yeah.
This is their interpretation of Halo, because I read the first Halo book.
I haven't read none of that.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, he absolutely wasn't chipped or whatever.
He was made to be a soldier.
Well, she found him at a playground. She tested his luck, and that's why they say Master Chief wasn't the best. He wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the strongest or the fastest.
Yeah.
He was just the luckiest, and that's why So what she did was she made him flip a coin, and however many times he landed on whatever, she was like, "Okay, this kid's got luck." And she liked him, and she thought he was kind of an interesting kid, and so she pulled him into her thing. She didn't abduct him and kill his parents and all the stuff that they whatever she did in the series that I can't remember. I was like, I'm not watching this.
I mean, hold on, wait, did he have parents? Because if she just took him from the playground, she still abducted his ass.
No, I don't think
they never said.
I don't think he had parents.
They never said.
The feeling I had was it was like almost an orphanage.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think he had parents in the book, but I mean I read this book in like 2012, so literally
they never went to detail of his background. They just said that he was a kid that they tested for his luck and intuition.
Yeah, and she wanted kids who didn't have attachments. Like that's the point. And then she takes these kids, and then they train them, and then they alter their bodies, like to make them super soldiers, yada yada yada. But
he's like what, 7 foot?
Shoot, it might be 8 or 10.
He's tall as shit.
They're huge. They're humongous big creatures. But so the books were completely different. He was, and the games are different. Like I said, I don't like this interpretation.
I think it.
And
being
then
on
that
screen,
program got worse.
Has to be different.
Yeah,
like,
it's more dramatized. It's more dramatized.
What you do is someone else carries the load of being the conscience and being the person with conflict and and Master Chief is always Master Chief, and that's how you don't ruin a character.
Right. That's what that girl is supposed to be. The girl who he rescued was supposed to be that. And I was like, okay, I understand like him like being this like stone cold soldier and like him trying to do the right thing and stuff like that to save humanity. And the girl is kind of like not the one that he fell in love with, but the one who was supposed to be the guardian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, guardian of the Halo ring.
Okay.
Yeah, she was supposed to be his quote unquote physical Cortana, until Cortana came, and then Cortana became his more consciousness.
Yeah, he's Jiminy Cricket.
It's Jiminy Cricket, basically.
But no, I just didn't like. I don't like it because once you make a choice, and to make Master Chief, multi-dimensional, like 3-dimensional instead of flat and 2-dimensional like it was, it's like you introduce the opportunity for people to not like his character. It's almost like collapsing the wave function of like a quantum state, right? Like when he's flat, we have all of these like ideas of what Master Chief might do, could do, whatever do, and we're still using that flatness as a jumping off point for where he is or what he could be. But the moment you make him 3-dimensional in a story, you take away our ability to imagine him in any direction, and now he is just this thing. And so you introduce, you invite someone to not like him anymore, to not like Master Chief. And the problem is Master Chief is Halo.
True.
Right? Like I'm not watching Halo for, even if there are other Spartans, you still want to know what Master Chief is doing.
True.
So it's like I like the Halo 5 Spartans. They're more interesting in terms of they have personalities. They're like an actual team. They're not like Master Chief's team is very quiet. Like it's like do this.
They shifted their program to more to.
Well, they weren't even created the same way.
No,
remember
they weren't.
The dude who Luke Cage dude was a full grown adult before he became a Spartan.
Yeah, because they were able to change the program to where they can make Spartans from known soldiers. Yeah, from adult soldiers.
They couldn't do that. Like that version of Spartan is they can the technology is so good that they can do it to an adult instead of having to like
train up a child.
Read, and I don't know if I have to go back and check, but I thought that what they did was actually clone the children, and then the children actually died, and then they used the clones to build the actual Master Chief. So he's like a clone of that kid, and
it's the other way.
Oh, so
they made clones, but the clones didn't last. So they placed the clone. If you're talking about the show, they placed the clones.
I was talking about the book, so I don't know. I have to go back and check. So maybe that is it, because I was like, wait a minute, there's clones, and then
in the show they made the clones, and the clones weren't lasting too long, and they swapped them.
Oh, okay.
They would swap them out for the kids that they kidnapped.
Okay.
And the kids that they kidnapped, they made it seem like, oh, you were always a soldier. You're the clone.
Right. Okay.
And you're the soldier, and you're supposed to be a soldier.
So I have to reread that to see like if that's tracks with what the original like books that they'd written for Halo, like those companion books. But
I think when they made the new Spartans,
the Spartan 5s or whatever, those guys or gals can be anybody.
Yeah.
They just pick people with who they trust, like to be able to handle, a newfound power and strength, and that they think are going to make good soldiers. And
a lot of those Spartans got fucked up.
Either they have personalities and they crack jokes. That's not a Master Chief thing, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe nowadays since he kind of like.
Yeah, well, he has some deadpan humor. He has some dry humor, right? He's not completely devoid of personality, but it's very slight on purpose. Because it's the same thing with like the what's the guy, the Doom guy's name? What's his name?
Doom Slayer.
They don't want that character to have personality because you're playing him, so they want you to be him.
And they did though in Doom Eternal, and the new Doom, they kind of gave him his own character personality, because in Doom Eternal you face. So in Doom Eternal, it went more into how the Doom Slayer was made, and what and how he was really conceived, and who he was really like linked to, because in the boss you face is him. You face the devil is really Doomslayer.
Oh wow!
And so you playing as Doomslayer are facing the demon equivalent of that.
and I can get. And Master Chief is Master Chief. Like I don't know if y'all saw the Forward Onto Dawn
Yeah, I did.
little short
I did.
movie that they did.
I
So it's
liked it.
about it's about one of the characters from he's in Halo. He's one of the admiral or captains, or he might be an admiral now, but he's the main captain person in ODST, the video
You got
game.
the
He's
drill
like,
sergeant.
yeah, he's like your boss.
Yeah.
It's about him and how he whatever. And so he, it's about them. They're on this planet training, and his mother's this high ranking official, and he's like underachieving and all this other stuff. So here's the human stuff, right? And then at the end, the aliens attack, and him and his team, he got to figure out how to get, they got to find out a way to win, how to survive, right? Of course, they can't
To the
beat
drop point.
aliens. These aliens out here just wrecking,
Yeah.
killing all kinds of people. And then who shows up? Master Chief. Does he have a long drawn out conversation? Does he say, "I'm proud of you, son, you survived"? No, he starts killing aliens. That's what he does.
Well, he kills
Right?
aliens, and then he finds them,
Yeah,
and all he says is, "Good job," and then keeps going.
yeah, exactly. He doesn't get on a knee and proud of you, son. You did a great job. Want to go play a game of catch? Like that's not
I'm
his
done.
character, and it's okay. He's not supposed to emote. That's for other characters to do around him, which is what you do. You other characters interact with him, and through their interactions, you learn more about him. You don't make him human. And
But
it's
my
not
question is, instead of so what if they took all if the first Halo season wasn't focused on Master Chief, but it was focused on like the girl.
It should. Halo should never be focused on Master Chief. He should just show up and be Master Chief.
So like what if like he was following the girl to find, answers, and he was
think about Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Is Yuji the main character or Gojo the main character? We know Gojo's cooler. You ain't got it. That's almost objectively true, right?
Okay.
Like there's very few people gonna choose to be Yuji over Gojo, right? But Yuji's the main character, and that's intentional, right? And I got my gripes about Yuji as the main character, but
he's a trash main character because you don't know how to fucking finish the fucking fight. He's supposed to.
He's a terrible shonen hero.
Terrible.
That's another.
No.
This nigga don't finish shit. I'm like, dog, man, you fucking whack, bro.
Yeah.
You fucking whack.
What?
All your friends has used their best curse energy shit, used all their abilities, got clapped off the map, and what you do? You don't kill the nigga who clapped them off the map. Couldn't be me at all. Couldn't be me. I'm fucking this nigga up. To death do us part with these fists, nigga. You feel me? That's it.
Not with these fists. Hey, yo.
That's it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Could have been said better. But to get to the point, right? We don't follow Gojo on purpose. We peek into Gojo's life.
He's there.
Right. And we see, there was the first 5 episodes of this current season was about Gojo's life, right? It explains why he has the philosophies he has and all the other good jazz. But you can't follow Gojo. Why? Because Gojo's nearly invincible.
Yep.
You can't follow an invincible character. It's hard for people to sign on to that and be like, yeah, I'll somehow empathize with an invincible character, right? It's why all
you say the same thing for solo leveling then? Eventually?
No, solo leveling, he does solo leveling is almost like an isekai, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the main character can be extremely powerful because what you're combating against in these kind of stories is societal norms and
normally not solo leveling, but what's that cheat
magician?
No, cheat codes from
magician?
No.
What are you talking about?
Living in a world, cheats from another world. forgot the damn the one where he was the dude who he was fat. People bullied him. His family hated him. Grandpa's the only one that loved him. And the grandpa left him the house. He found that door to another world.
Oh yeah,
what is it called?
I know what you're talking about though. It's the one where the kid is like, he's like perfect basically, and
he ends up being
That could be describing any isekai right now, AJ.
That's
right,
true.
Hold on,
true.
I'm gonna find.
But he basically learns like magic. He all of a sudden but he gets money and stuff like that. But when he goes back to the other world,
he goes back to that rich school. Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
No.
That's a different joint. Hold on. Y'all go ahead. I'm just trying to look for it.
What are you talking about? He's that's a terrible story in my opinion.
It's a terrible story. Here we go. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. That's that one.
It's to me that is a power fantasy by an author, right? I don't think it's a good story. I tried to watch it, but it was just like he has no personality. He's Master Chief, right? Like, and it doesn't work because he's a robot. He's just a good guy all the time. He never has any conflict.
Well, he's in a situation where he has appearances and abilities that he never had all his life.
And the truth is that most people who are wounded don't become good because those wounds are healed, especially if they're miraculously healed, especially if they haven't had to do the work. Like, where's the I want revenge for people looking down on me all the time? Where's the I'm frustrated with the system? Where's the upheaval? Even if he's a good guy and he doesn't want to do anything bad, where's he trying to upturn the system? Not through heroic deeds, but through actual actions. He realizes I have power now. I can make it so that no one ever does this to anyone ever again.
But from him not doing that shows the amount of responsibility and amount of
human for him to have that kind of wisdom without any experience and without anybody speaking into his life.
But he's learned that when he was younger, when he was getting bullied.
No,
that's where he learned it from.
All he learned was one side of the coin. How can he possibly know what it's like to be on the other side?
This is him learning the other side.
But he's not on the other side. He's removed himself from it. He's not on the other side. He's in a completely different realm where he can just say, "Hey, I'm better than these people. I'm not going to make the same mistakes they make." But there still are mistakes to be made, and he's not even making those. He's making no mistakes, which to me is not. That's not a character that I can watch because not only can I predict everything he's going to do because he's perfect, so I just know what's the best possible thing to do here. What's the thing that we want ourselves to be able to do, but know that there might be life things that make us choose otherwise. Like, and I'm like, oh, okay, is he gonna manipulate this person? No, of course not. Is he going to use his attractiveness to get things? Of course not. Is he going to be oblivious to that stuff? Of course he is. Even though he knows for a fact that attractiveness can be used for things, somehow he's still oblivious to his attractiveness. And you see what I'm saying? Like, he keeps his childlike innocence. He keeps all of this stuff while gaining all of this stuff. And to me, what it creates is a character that I don't recognize. I would appreciate a human being like that if they existed, but I don't follow a character like that because the character he doesn't doubt himself in any real way. He doesn't test himself or question himself. He really just kind of like he has these like great epiphanies about how awesome something is, but it's really like always the right answer. He doesn't have a mentor-like character. There's no learning. It's just him. Like,
he had his granddad, and to me, I hear what you're saying, but I think you're a lot more cynical than I think we are when we're watching this stuff. Because, like, to me, to want to be good for this, like, for the experience that you've had, that's a person. I mean, not everyone who gets treated poorly when they're on, the powerless side of a power imbalance is gonna, come back like, that wasn't cool. I don't want to make people feel that way. But I think that it's possible. Like that's
I think it's possible, and my suspicion is any person I meet who is kind, I suspect that there is something that taught them that kindness is a better choice, and it's usually from someone not being kind to them. I don't know anyone who's kind that's just their nature, right? I think kindness is you learn kindness through seeing that there are such things as not kindness.
I mean,
'Cause
then
I
he
think-
saw that.
He
Right.
did with his
no,
granddad.
I absolutely agree with that thing, but I don't
Mhm.
believe kind people are perfect and are always kind.
Oh well, no. I don't think
No,
that's
no.
Yeah, yes.
But I don't think I don't think we have seen it yet. Like I think
The writing style
I don't
suggests
think
he
I
will
don't
never be unkind. He will
I
never
don't
make that mistake. The writing style suggests it. That's why I stopped watching it. I was like, dude, like, when are you gonna? Where's the anger, right? Like even Righteous Fury, he don't
yeah,
got
the anger
Yeah.
when he was fighting that damn whatever that robot girl was.
look. It's always
What
something.
you want?
It's always like something that he can pour his anger into, and we not make a judgment off of it, right? It's a robot. It's a demon. It's a monster. He can be as angry as he wants when he cuts those things apart because we're like, yeah, those things deserve our anger and our
I
frustration.
mean, but that's the righteous anger you asked about, right?
yeah. No, I want to see it when it's in a situation where there are no right answers, right? There are two
But then
people,
his anger wouldn't be righteous, would it? If there's no right
but
answer.
yeah, objectively his anger wouldn't be righteous, but that doesn't mean he won't feel righteous.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Us watching it from a distance,
Him being
saying,
righteously angry, but being wrong about where he's placing that anger, it
just
would
has
be
to
more
be-
human to you.
it would be more human if there's conflict that can't be solved by him just, oh, he's a good person, so he finds a solution. There's some solutions that, there's some solutions that your morality don't solve, right? Like you can make a good decision that still hurts people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some situations that are balanced on a different scale. They're not moral decisions, right?
Mhm.
Do I save this person or do I save that person? Right? If you start trying to make it a moral thing, well, that's a child. They have more potential. I should save the child. Well, that's a parent. They have children. Like once you start trying to make a, you know what I'm saying? Do I save this person? Do I save that person? Or do I self-sacrifice? Maybe I can save them both, but then I lose myself. Those are the choices that make something heroic.
That's some like
In my
Deku.
opinion. If everything is always solved because you're you and you're him or whatever, and you can somehow do both, right? It's my same issue with Superman, even though Superman doesn't nearly have as much. I mean, Superman has more flaws than this guy, right?
That sounds like Deku. Tell you the truth.
No, Deku has plenty of flaws. Deku doubts
No, that's what
himself.
he's saying. The person that you're asking for, I think he's saying is
Oh,
Deku.
okay, I was like, because I like Deku. Deku's actually not my favorite character on My Hero Academia, but he's a good hero because Deku has plenty of flaws, right? Self-doubt is his main one, right? He's constantly doubting whether he's making the right decision, whether he's doing the right thing, and he often blames himself for stuff that really isn't his fault, but he feels a sense of responsibility for it, right?
But that example of you saying like the self-sacrifice versus save the kid or save the parent.
Yeah, or do I split
Deku,
myself literally? Like, do I pull up and it destroys me instead? Right? That's the hero stuff, right? That's the stuff. The self-sacrifice is the hero stuff. If there's always a solution that doesn't involve self-sacrifice because you're just so good and so things just roll your way or whatever, I can't ever see you truly as heroic. I can see you as a good person, but that doesn't mean you're heroic to me. That just means you're a good person with a lot of fortune. But it doesn't inspire me. A hero inspires you because they made a decision that you're like, would I have been strong enough to make that decision in that position? But his decisions are so easy to make, right? Like if he was still unattractive but powerful, so people still treated him poorly, but he still kept doing the right thing, that's heroic. Because it's like, oh, you're Quasimodo, but you're out here doing Superman stuff, right? You don't get a Lois Lane.
Quasimodo.
Now it's heroic. Right, and I'm not saying that everybody has to write it this way. Isekais are literally written the other way, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. That's not the writing form, but that's why I couldn't stick with it. It's like that character is too much. He's too good, and not in the sense that like there's such things too goodness for me. Because I would love to meet a person who just did not make mistakes and was, genuinely nice to everyone, right? But in the sense of,
I think that would be difficult. I think there are definitely people who kind of fit the other stuff as far as just like being kind, being good people. But I mean, shit, mistake. You you can't not make mistakes because it requires the passage of time to see that it was a mistake to begin with.
Exactly.
So I mean, you would have to be able to tell the future.
Right. But see, because of the way that the writing style is for this show, he will never make a mistake because even though he doesn't know it's not a mistake, the author makes sure to let us know it's not a mistake. So he makes a decision, we know it's right immediately. Yeah. It's almost instantaneous. So we know even if he looks back on this 100 years, he's going to be proud of that moment. Right?
Yeah. But I'd be watching these shows like that was dumb. I disagree.
And right, and you have right, because you're like, some people need to be put down, right? That's what you probably. It's like, I can't believe he let that guy win and survive again.
And my number one thing that I've talked about, I don't know if you was there, JK, when me and Tech was talking about that, the show with the Asian assassins that he was watching. It's like a family, but they didn't teach like the youngest son any of those skills. That like, and then
the brother's son.
Yeah.
Brother Soon.
Yeah. Because like
that, it was good. I liked it. That was a good show. That was, to me, they should have taught him at least. They should have taught him
something
because he was running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, literally. Yeah. And he kept doing dumb shit after dumb shit after dumb shit. I'm like, all this shit could have been prevented if you would have taught him this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah, that's those kind of decisions. Like, oh yes, you stay here. I'm the one with all the skills. They're after me, but you stay here because that's gonna keep you safe.
Right?
No, what? I'm gonna keep you in the dark. That's gonna keep you. No,
right.
I have terrible choices.
Fucking be the one cause the massacre to happen. Like, come on, man.
But that's the point, right? These characters, they make mistakes. Like you said, maybe they were keeping them out of it because they're assassins. That's a dirty business, and they
weren't assassins. They were just mobs. They were triads.
That's worse. That's actually worse. They hire assassins and assassinate. They do all the stuff, right? Yeah. They're the bads of the bads, right? So it's like, maybe they wanted them to have wanted them to have like a clean soul. Maybe they're like, oh, we all filthy over here, but we can
sort of
individual. You're right, because they're filthy. He can never truly be clean as long as he associates with them. They would have had to give him up for adoption in order for him to not be filthy. So you're right. They should have trained him. They should have been like, hey, you ain't got to kill a single person, but you better know how to not kill a person, and you better know how to not kill.
That's all you need. Anyway, what else was I gonna say? We should talk more about this stuff. I also wanted to ask about. I know Carl watched The Wheel of Time. I finally caught up on that. Y'all watched that?
I haven't seen the new season yet.
Okay.
Oh, you need to watch that thing. That thing is nuts.
I don't think I was ready to sit down and watch a series. That's why I've been like watching stuff that I can hop in and hop out of.
Yeah.
Remember when I watched the first one, I watched it all in one night, pretty much.
Yo, that's
like, it was like I started in the middle of the day and I was done at like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't want to put myself in that position again. I really don't have the time. Like
start that thing on the weekend.
That's what happened. It was like a Friday or Saturday night, and I woke up and I was like, I'm done with Wheel of Time. So
it's worth it.
You see, yeah, absolutely. You caught up, JK?
Dog, I finished that way before y'all.
Oh shit! Yeah, well,
I finished that I finished that as soon as the new season dropped. I was like, new season. Finished that in like a week. Less than that, probably a couple days.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I couldn't because it's a weekly 2 episode.
Oh, right.
That first season, dope.
Yeah.
So,
second season is better.
Oh wow! Okay, I'm excited now because
second season is better.
There's a couple of things I missed. I pretty much, like I said, I haven't been able to watch no series. So that's why I finished Jack Ryan. I haven't finished.
Reacher.
Any of those
Reacher
things.
just came out with season 3.
Yeah, I was telling you to watch Reacher. So
season 2.
I haven't seen season 1 of Reacher. So
same.
It was good.
Is it?
It was good.
I've seen the ads and I put it on my watch list, but I haven't checked out the trailer. And then I saw a little bit of chatter on Twitter about it, and I was like,
the first season I liked. Second season was okay. Second was okay. First season I liked. Second season was okay.
All right, well, maybe I'll check that joint out. So what was it? Halo. Wheel of Time, because I finally watched all that.
There's a bunch of Paramount
What
Plus shows coming out.
Oh, what else? But I know they're getting Halo. What else are they putting out
They
next?
got this anime show called Tiger Apprentice. It's almost like Avatar, but with like zodiac signs.
Interesting. Sorry, let me write that down.
It's interesting.
And do either of y'all have Apple TV Plus?
Nope, but I still be able to find stuff.
True. What's on there? Have you seen Foundation already?
No,
I haven't watched Foundation.
You and Carl speak highly of Foundation.
Oh my gosh,
y'all do.
Foundation.
I haven't watched it yet.
You need
I've been
that.
seeing
I was
clips.
rewatching it with a friend, and I was like, man, this that thing is nuts. Even if it's just, I don't know how you feel about the story, AJ, because you're a little bit more discerning in your taste than I am. Like, I'm pretty easygoing. I feel like, JK has a little bit of that also. Right. But the effects, the cinematography, the wardrobe, like,
it's sci-fi though, right?
It's an amazing production. Yeah, sci-fi.
Yeah, so sci-fi I'm pretty lenient on because it's like I don't like if it's sci-fi like like the way Star Trek is sci-fi where it's like the world has no story, right? Like fantasy, the world usually has a story and a moral arc, right? The Lord of the Rings is about there's trying to stop Sauron, right? That's the arc of the entire world. It's not just the character having goals and plans. Like sci-fi is just like, hey, let's give everybody technology and then make a story based on like the consequences of having these things. So that's a little bit different. I'm a little bit more lenient with sci-fi. It's the fantasy arc, and it's like if I'm following a hero's journey, I gotta like the hero. I can't watch unless the hero's supposed to be unlikable, and then I can watch that as well. But
there are a lot of twists that I don't know. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. I don't know where you fell on that, JK. It's like, is it one of those things where you feel like, they're just writing themselves out of anything? Or is it like, oh, this is a like legit twist, never would have saw this coming type stuff? So we'll see.
Nowadays, sometimes they actually have like good cliffhangers, good twists.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just kind of like they just want to end it just to end it.
I feel that.
Especially the long running season.
Oh yeah, for sure. Long I feel like the longer shows that kind of have these twists, the longer they run, like the more knots they have to tie themselves into to like keep making storylines. It reminds me of the thing that I think you said, AJ, about like comics where they write people they got this ridiculous power scaling until they have to start over.
Yeah, that's right. The best thing you can do is never make something that's ongoing because it's just the truth.
Start with the end in mind.
Everything needs to have an end, and if you want to reboot it, or if you find a new idea later on and you're like, oh, I can append it, or if you want to go back to a certain time period, like in that world, it's like 200 years before, 100 years before, like that's better than having no ending in sight and having just this like cool character. Because what ends up happening is you have a character that changes and they're fundamentally not who they were at the beginning. And if that was what drew people in, that's also what's gonna, spin people out. Like, oh, I gotta get. He's not. I was reading the. I don't know if you guys know the Forgotten Realms, like the Drizzt Do'Urden books. It's like a dark elf. It's like the Dungeons and Dragons character.
Okay.
Okay.
And so he starts off one way, and by the end, his ideology makes no sense to me. Now, is it an ideology that real people have? Yes, but it makes no sense to me how you can have that ideology and then still have a sense of like justice. That like without like you take a thoughtful person who understands that people can't be their own North Star, right? And then you get him all the way to the end, and now he does think he can be his own North Star. And I'm like, well, how? You haven't proven how a person can be their own North Star. You know what I'm saying? Like, you needed something to point you to justice at one point, and now you're like, oh no, now that's even wrong. I'm right. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that character was more interesting when he had something that kind of oriented him. And now that he self-orients, he seems less he just seems less right. And his ideology was one of the things that attracted me to him. Now, the real thing is he's a super cool warrior who basically never loses and whatever like that. It's very isekai-ish in terms of how well he fights. Like he shouldn't win. In Dungeons and Dragons, wizards are better than everybody, right? Like wizards and maybe psionicis and demons and monsters and stuff, but like you can't cast spells, you shouldn't be talked about amongst the tops. But he's such a great warrior and so smart and whatever that like even the wizards, even the whatever are like, yeah, we got. I mean, don't stand too close to him, and you can probably still beat him, but he's quick. He's quick. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, he's gonna win. You know, he's gonna show up and make somebody look silly, and I enjoy that. But his character has become less likable over time. It's been like 30 books. So it's like, yeah, it's been so many books. The character has to change after a while because it just gets stale. And eventually he's going to cross the line of what you liked about him and turn into something that's slightly different. And you might not like that new change. So if you write towards an end, you just do that. And if you can incrementally add stuff. And that way you can keep it fresh and without having to worry about like the next shock value, the next shock factor, the next thing. That's
the next reveal. Gotcha. All right. So real quick, JK, I wanted to highlight you about Monarch. This is on Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
And it's like a sci-fi thing. It's in the
Godzilla,
is it in the
right?
near future or is it in now? Yes.
It's
Godzilla and other monsters.
Right.
It starts
the organization that tries to kill those jokers, right? Or capture
Monarch,
basically.
Basically.
They want to study them and prove things.
They want to. So in the show, tell too much, but we know our policies here. So in the show, basically, it shows how Monarch started, which was between two researchers. One was a Japanese scientist. Another one was Kurt Russell's son's character.
He was just like a soldier.
He was a soldier, basically, and another one was a researcher who was actually who was stuck on a ship for 15 years on a remote island. And so basically they found that there was a bunch of these large titans coming around, blah, blah, blah. And then that's where they got introduced to Godzilla. And I think it jumps back and forth between time periods. So it jumps from the time of when they started Monarch. And when it started Monarch, that was close to Godzilla -1. And then present time was when like their kids found out. And the present time was when the first Godzilla movie came out. And so, and it kind of, and the present, and then so like after that first attack, it goes forward to before Godzilla versus Kong comes out, basically, because it get introduced to the second group, the Apex group.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Which the Apex group was in charge of learning about Kong. And so in this show, it tries to delve into it tries to tie in of how the monsters are able to come and go so fast. And so they chalk it up to there's portals in different regions of the earth that connect to another part of
your basic kaiju, standard kaiju.
Yeah, basically.
There's just no way that a creature like that could just show up in the water. Like Godzilla shows up whenever you need him / don't need him. Like
right. And like, so Godzilla shows up multiple times, and they didn't have show up Kong once. But it's a good show. It's a lot of, character build, dramatization, stuff like that. So it's not, but there's some monster attacks.
Definitely some close calls for sure.
Yeah, very close calls. Especially with that little insect one. That thing, boy. Oof.
Terrible.
That's right.
But yeah,
so scary to me.
yeah, no. But it's interesting. It's interesting because you always thought Godzilla just lived at the bottom of the sea.
Right.
And then even in the
Yeah.
I'll probably check that out. I gotta get Apple TV. I don't want to because I don't want to support them in any fashion. But
who said
you
you
can
gotta
watch
watch
it.
Apple TV?
exactly like he is in the novels. Like, have y'all seen Ahsoka? I don't know if you guys watched Ahsoka.
Not yet. It's on my list.
Okay, so Grand Admiral Thrawn's in Ahsoka, and he's the one everybody's afraid of. They're like, oh shoot, don't let him show up again. He shows up again, the Empire has a chance to like resurge. He's a brilliant tactician. He don't, he knows his opponents better than they know themselves, kind of thing. So the piece I like the best about him in the Heir to the Empire is he studies your art. So he's like, what kind of art does your civilization make? And he knows how your species thinks. And then once he knows how your species thinks, he can predict your movements in ways that you wouldn't have even expected.
No,
right. So I just thought that was always cool because it was like he's looking like the first time you see him, he's in like a holodeck staring at art. And one of the Imperials who's supposed to be like art lends into his genius because it's like Sherlock Holmes. You never know what Sherlock Holmes is thinking until the end when he tells you what he discovered. But you don't know you don't know how his brain works, right?
Right.
So the Imperial officer walks in and he's just got all these holograms of art up, and you wonder why he has the art up, and then you see later he'll tell you, oh, the reason they never made this type of art before, so that shows that they have this type of thinking, they don't have this type of thinking, right? So because they don't, because their brains don't think like that, they couldn't possibly understand this militaristic maneuver, and then he uses that to like straight trounce people. So that whole series is like, it introduces like Mara Jade, who becomes Luke Skywalker's wife in the books. She's also force sensitive. She was called the Emperor's Hand. Like that was her designated task. She was basically like a force sensitive who wasn't a Jedi, who Palpatine used to go around and like assassinate people and do his espionage stuff. And she's basically got this like voice in her head telling her she has to kill Luke Skywalker, and that's pretty much her motive the whole time, is to straight murder Luke. But she ends up having to she can't murder him because she needs him for certain things. So it's a good way of like introducing the character. But I think like that was one of my favorite. That's what got me into reading Star Wars books, is how good that one. And that's probably the best one though. So it's like after that, it pretty much goes downhill in terms of like classic villains and stuff like that. But there are a couple more interesting ones, but that trilogy was good. So I just been going through like books that I finished and re-listening to them. So I think that's where I've been at, because I haven't really been able to sit down and watch anything for the past few months. It's been a little hectic over here, but I can listen to books, right? I can do that while I do other things too. So it's an easy, whatever.
That's cool.
Easy peasy. Yeah. I don't think I've read any of the like Star Wars stuff.
It's not like I'd recommend it. You gotta be a Star Wars. I only recommend.
You gotta be a Star Wars head. Okay, I got.
Yeah, I only recommend Heir to the Empire in terms of like just like well written, interesting characters, that kind of thing. But if we're talking about like the whole like new Jedi Order stuff like that, like you gotta like Star Wars, really. Oh, and I recommend Mercy Kill also. That's a Star Wars book I finished. It's about a team called Race Squadron. They're like the A team in Star Wars. Like that's basically what it is, like the A-Team in space. And there's like not a lot of Jedi and stuff in this, although there's always going to be some Force adjacent characters, but it's just the A-Team in space. It's a very good book. So if you're gonna do a Star Wars book, I recommend Mercy Kill or the Heir to the Empire stuff, because those two were they're good standalone. Well, one's a trilogy, but Mercy Kill is a good standalone book, just in general.
Ooh, nice. All right, man. I think that's it. I'm way behind on all my anime. I've been much more on the live action side, so I need to catch up on some of the stuff y'all talking about, like with Yuji and
Yeah,
what else
Yuji out here just failing. I was like, Yuji ain't saved a person yet. I can't wait till Yuji does something heroic. I can't wait. I'm gonna pat him on his back when he does something.
Oh no!
When he saves a person, Yuji is basically an Avenger. He's just like, oh, you died. I'm gonna try to kill that person for you. I know we couldn't do it together, but somehow I'm gonna be mad
I'm gonna
enough
try to
now.
avenge you.
I really just need you to be dead for me to really have inspiration here.
Oh, don't get me
Oh
started.
no!
Yuji needs to lose everything in order to be like.
Don't get me started now, man. Let's just end this whole thing now
This
before I
nigga be
get started.
less shonen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing. Like he be less shonen. Like
I just went to One Piece after that episode. I was like, we're going to One Piece. Fuck it.
I can't get with One Piece just because the busyness and the dizzying amount of characters that I would have to learn in order to catch up.
Oh, it's fun. It's a fun
Too
ride.
far. I'm too far gone now. I started on One Piece.
Too far gone.
I missed a couple years. When I came back, I was like, I don't recognize none of these characters.
Yep, sounds about right. Same with me.
Sheesh. Nah,
I took
one day
the dive.
maybe.
I took the dive.
Suave.
I heard it's
good.
good.
Start on One Piece, you will finish when you're 35. Oh, 85. It won't be 35. 35. You'll be.
I'll never finish.
You'll be done in a retirement home.
He's not even finished. I remember we were in college, and he said, "I have 10 years."
Yeah.
He's like, "I got 10 more years of story," and I was like, "He's lying. There's no way."
He just now said that.
I'm gonna be uploading my consciousness and still watching One Piece if I get started
today. Like 2012. He was like 10 more years, and I was like, "There's no way." And
all I know is if I get clipped off the map before the end, y'all better watch it. Just for me. Don't even have to start at the beginning. Start at where I end. I'm gonna tell y'all before I pass in my will. I ended at this point. And y'all better watch it, and I'm gonna haunt y'all asses to watch it with y'all. How about that?
I pray to God that you don't leave this earth before One Piece is finished.
Me neither.
Natural causes,
boy,
my guy.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I'm praying for a long life for you. But if that's the case, I will watch One Piece. I'd be like,
absolutely.
I'm like, this for my man.
It's for JK. It's for JK. My nigga, please pour one out and start the show. I'm like, and I'm just gonna. You just gonna hear a haunt cut. Let's go.
Absolutely. If that's the case,
my God.
Don't worry about me, man. I will watch that show for you.
Absolutely.
Oh, shit, hold on. I might.
We can still hear you.
There we go.
All right, bet.
No, my headset came out.
Oh, got you. All right, man. I think that's it for tonight. I think that, like I said, I'm gonna get this once I've actually finished taking this down. I'm supposed to get a tree bag. I'm gonna put my desk over here and make it a little more stationary. Hopefully, things will be a little more plug and play once I'm in one spot instead of rolling this thing all over the place.
Good. It's all good.
Yeah, man. I definitely some good convos here. I added a couple of stream markers in there. We'll see. I was late getting started. I forgot I had this button.
It's all good.
Hey, you good, man?
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some more chats in 2024. Let me see. We got our next joint is gonna be February the 1st. First day of Black History Month.
Oh yeah.
So
we're all coming. The Shikis and
Absolutely.
black themed clothing. I might be in an up down suit.
I'm gonna buy one just for the first day, and then like see if I get a Ashiki hat for each day.
Bruh. That's
Big
it's a leap year.
medallions and stuff on her neck.
There we go.
Yeah.
Gotta get the
Or I'll just wear a FAMU shirt every day,
I mean,
every stream.
every stream.
I think I got 2 somewhere.
Well, that wraps it up for the End of Humanity chat / What's Good. We'll like we just said, we'll be back on February 1st.
If we're not
hopefully with
by AI by then.
If only if things are moving fast, you never know.
AI takes over on Black History Month, I'm leaving the country.
I mean, you probably won't be able to get out of the country.
I'm leaving.
Absolutely.
I'm leaving the chat.
If that
I'm
thing
done.
takes over, it's gonna be too late. By the time you know that it's taking over, that thing is gonna be like denied, nigga. You better stay your ass here.
You think your swipe is gonna work? You think you're gonna be able to swipe something and get a ticket?
Swiping the damn thing.
No, man, you stuck here with the rest of us.
Oh, but it's Black History Month. They're like, we don't care. You're human.
Your black ass about to be history.
It's like,
oh,
do you think black people have a lot of say in what they learn? They're not gonna know what Black history is.
They're like, Black History, what's that? They're like, oh, seems like a human problem. And clipped off the map.
Yo, absolutely. That's it. Oh my gosh. But yeah. All right. I don't forgot the outro, but y'all know what to do.
Yeah.
All that stuff. The things.
Subscribe.
Things, the buttons, the notifications.
Share, like, comment. Y'all know what to do. Don't act like y'all don't. Y'all know what to fucking do.
Absolutely.
All that stuff.
Well, I'll let
See y'all next
month.
time. Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.
Going up.